Primetime?
Primetime, that's the name.
Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C. Matt Hayes.
Big asses, big thighs, yeah.
Mia O'Brien.
Bent over and let it happen.
And Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Ready to rock and roll on a Tuesday, full house. Mia back from the day off, President's Day. Hopefully everybody that did have the day off enjoyed it. Now they're back ready to rock and roll on a Beaver Chevy Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We still sound like, like a minute clinic in here. I know I still sound like just butt
I'm
bad.
kind of concerned that I came back.
You're that close.
I assumed,
you're in between.
Right. I assumed that, the weekend of rest that Matt Hayes teased on Friday would do you all good.
You're
that
in between
pollen is still real.
Walking Death and I Can't Breathe over here.
Oh, what fun.
Yeah. So you're good to go.
This is an exciting Beaver Toyota Beaver Chevy Tuesday if there ever was one.
You're good to go. But like Matt walked out yesterday, just dragging, heading for, you probably need to go to an IV club or something like that.
That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But what did you do? You went and got an X-ray yesterday.
Yeah.
Everything good?
Negative, yeah.
Okay, all right. And then.
So it's mental, is what you're talking about. That's all inside your mind.
I don't know what it is, but it's killing me.
It's got to be mental. If you got the X-rays and everything's clear, that means mentally you are doing this to yourself, man.
Are you trying to tell me that I'm soft?
I'm not trying to tell you anything.
With the T or without the T?
No, with the F.
And the thing is, I can't get into a belly laugh, or I'll just lose my air altogether and just fall over. Oh, it sucks. But apparently, like we said, it's going around. I've learned more about RSV and all the other viruses that are out there. But hopefully, we're all good to go. This is an important day. Maybe not for Jacksonville, but we're going to start our show kind of where Jaguars Today has been, which is the franchise tag. This is Tag Day, and Leon, we're just going to set the table for this bad boy because Josh Allen is expected to be tagged. At least that's how I'm looking at this. I think that's how all of Duval is looking at it. You always tell us it sucks to be tagged, but at the same time, you're going to get paid.
Yeah, but you're not going to get paid for 6 months. You're not going to get paid for 6 months. And the tag, all the tag does, and the players can't complain about it because they collectively bargained for the tag. All the tag does is gives the franchise more time to work on the deal, which could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Right.
But I don't like the tag because the player goes and he bets on himself. He wins. He gets tagged. Now they get extra time. The Jaguars knew somewhere mid-season when he had 10 sacks that somehow we were going to keep this guy. Mm-hmm. If he had 5 sacks, it'd be another situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that he did everything he could possibly to put himself in this position. Right. And his award should be a long-term deal, not no freaking tag.
That I get. Now, this is the thing, and this is when we keep track of the negotiations and all this, we know that Balky's he's going to be a Jaguar. And so he believes that he's going to get him here no matter what, which is fine because you can tag him. But this does mean if you tag him, you got 2 weeks before the deadline is 4 o'clock Eastern time, March 5th. And if they don't have a deal done then, they still can negotiate. And the feeling is that they're going to try and move some things around and get some cap room going.
So this is not unprecedented. Let's go to the moving of the tag, the Calvin Ridley part of this equation, because I know that's what Joe had questions about in our pre-show meeting, and I know that's what many of our nooners driving around Duval right now have questions about. My expectation is that the Jaguars are planning on placing the tag on Josh Allen because that will give them more than just this next 2-week window to negotiate a long-term deal with Josh Allen. Now, is it completely out of the question that Josh's agent, Trent Baalke, go to dinner next week in Indianapolis at the NFL Combine and they come to terms on an agreement, even if it's a midnight deal at the tag deadline, not the trade deadline, the tag deadline? Mm-hmm. Is there precedent for that? To which there is. If you go back to the New York Giants, and I understand this is 2 offensive players as opposed to an edge rusher and a wide receiver, but this time last year, the Giants got a deal done at the deadline with Daniel Jones, which in turn opened up the opportunity to tag Saquon Barkley. Otherwise, they were going to have a decision between those 2 players, and if they couldn't come to terms on an agreement with Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley would have walked and been an unrestricted free agent. And so it's not out of the question that the Jaguars, and also I do want to also cite John Osher and Bucky Brooks, they were back for their weekly podcast. I believe it was last Wednesday. Yeah, it was on Valentine's Day. They did their weekly podcast, and obviously those two guys are well in the know. Bucky's a former scout, and he said there have been instances in which deals have gotten done ahead of the tag deadline in Indianapolis. And so as much as so many people are like, oh, my God, they're so far behind the 8 ball, and the fact that they haven't even talked yet and this is awful, I agree. I think Trent Baalke should have reached out weeks ago. As soon as the season ended, if his rule really is that he doesn't want to negotiate in season. Should have reached out the day after the season was over, if nothing else for formalities. But in the grand landscape of the NFL, this isn't out of the ordinary, and there is precedence that they could get a deal done. I don't think they will. And in turn, that means you're allowing Calvin Ridley to test the waters of free agency. But also, if you tag Calvin Ridley, Leon, then you're giving up a second round.
That's the reason why I don't like the tag, is because it gives the ownership flexibility. You know you're going to tag him, all right? So you know you're going to have more time to negotiate it. If you didn't have the tag, then you know you got to get a deal done before he gets to free agency. But the flexibility of the tag says, oh, we can wait around. This is why Baalke comes up and said, well, I haven't heard anything from the agent. We haven't talked in a while. Why? You ain't talked in a while. How did that happen? This man has 17 and a half sacks and you haven't talked in a while? Yeah. He's your franchise. He's the face of your franchise on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. You haven't talked all season.
I've been sending him some edible arrangements around Valentine's and everything else.
I mean, that's what the tag does. It gives the organization. It gives the organization flexibility. Hey, we can wait. No pressure, no time.
Now, and listen, I love that you defend the player, and I totally get it because you're right. You feel like you're handcuffed because you have the opportunity to get that big deal, and they're only going to give you the 1 year, and I totally get it. But at the same time, we have seen guys that have been able to make more money over, say, a 2-year period if they do get tagged once and then get a long-term deal. And that is never a bad thing, because if Josh Allen goes out, Matt, and does the exact same, close to the same thing he did this year, then he's really going to break the bank.
I don't know how much more, honestly. How much more is he going to break the bank?
Well, just look at it from year to year.
I look at it this way. Okay, so he has his season where he's like, all right, this is it. This is what I'm playing for.
Right.
This is my money year. He has 17 sacks. Are you really going to put him in a situation where now he's once again on a tag, where he once again could blow a knee, where he once again could blow a shoulder?
I totally get that part.
So I don't look at it like that for him. I look at it strictly as, look, he's in a situation right now where he's got to make money right now. He's got to sign right now.
Right.
So that's what he wants. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, of course. But here's what we got to separate. Okay, I think everybody here would go, at least a lot of people would say, the player has proven that he's worthy of the contract, give him the long-term deal. I think we probably would all raise our hand.
It's not up to him, and this is what I wanted to make. Sorry, Joe. It's not up to him to do right by the franchise. It's up to them to do right by him.
I get it, but it's only, and I argue this all the time, and I feel like I got to get out on an island even though I don't want to be the guy defending the team. It's only one tag, and not every team uses it every year. They don't. All right, let me just give you an example here real quick. Last year, you had, let me see if I have this right. Last year, the 2-week window opened up, and you had a total of 6 that were tagged a season ago, including Lamar Jackson.
And Evan Ingram.
Yeah, and Evan Ingram.
Right.
Okay, so 6 players were tagged, including Lamar, who signed a 5-year, $260 million contract and obviously busted loose. I can't remember the exact timeline of Evan Ingram, but when it was all said and done, Saquon was tagged. He ended up doing a different deal later. Josh Jacobs got tagged. There were a handful. Only 6 guys got this. That's it. It's not like we're talking about a big group of players that were paralyzed contractually by the football team.
Okay, so how long did it take for Evan Ingram to get his deal? Let's look at this way.
July.
Okay? July, okay? Are you seriously going to tell me that they didn't know exactly the parameters they were at, money and structure, when they first put the tag on him?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't care, because they're doing their best job. Any team is doing their best job to make sure they give. Now, we can be critical of Baalke, but let's just use Kansas City as an example. Okay, they didn't pay Chris Jones until the end. They held out. They didn't pay him until the end.
They knew exactly what they were going to have to pay him.
Yeah, and guess what? They didn't do it until the end. And then they gave him
I understand
a 1-year
all of that.
deal.
My point is they knew what they were going to have to do.
Right, but the only reason they did it is because they did what was best for them overall. That's the job of the team. That's what they're supposed to do.
Right, and it's the job of Josh Allen and every other guy that's facing that tag to do what's best for them.
I get it. Like this is where we have to get past that. we all feel like Josh Allen should get his money, right? So
Yeah,
let's just
true.
get past that part of it.
Look at it this
now
way,
it's trying to
Matt.
figure out how it's going to come together.
Do you really think Josh Allen's going to pull a Le'Veon Bell and not play at all next year?
No, he pull a Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. He'll show up week 1.
Yeah,
and
he'll
that's
pull
if
Chris
they don't
Jones.
get a deal done before training camp begins. So even if, let's say, akin to Evan Ingram, let's say they get the extension done in July. So he misses OTAs. He misses minicamp. He'll miss mandatory minicamp. The only thing that I just listed that he attended last year was mandatory minicamp. He went on to have 17 and a half sacks.
Yeah, he chose to lay out to at least send a little bit of a
I'm
minor message.
So I don't think it's the end of the world if the goal is, hey, we're going to get it done by July, which I agree. Like, listen, again, in a perfect world, optics, you would have a deal in place already. I agree. However, if you say we're going to get a deal done by July and he's going to miss those events in the spring, well, he missed them last year and he had the best year of his career.
I get all that. My whole thing is this team is desperate for some kind of leadership, for some kind of someone in that locker room to grab them by the throat and see something, a leadership out of that group, right?
That's fair.
They
sure.
need someone like that, okay? And there's just all kind of uncertainty with your best player or your second best player, however you look at Josh Allen, okay?
Plus the organizationally, you got to do right by Josh because first and foremost, he's one of yours. You picked him.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a free agent guy. He's a guy you picked. And that sends echoes in the locker room is that if you're one of ours and you do well, we pay you. That's got to be the sentiment.
Right.
That's got to be the sentiment.
Yeah.
I just think that resonates in the locker room because when you bring in all this outside money that you're spending on,
Right.
Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, all these guys are making these huge deals that weren't one of yours. It'll be nice that you feed
Plus-
you feed your family at home.
You told him to go prove himself,
Yes,
and
exactly.
he did it.
But here's when it was all said and done, he will get paid.
Yeah.
That's the thing is he went and proved himself, and he will get paid.
Yeah, he'll get paid up. I just think about the money that may be lost if he has to play on the tag.
Right.
And I know y'all look at the money that he's going to earn.
Yeah.
The money that he's going to lose if he has to play on the tag. I mean, he's going to make, what, 22 and a half, 23 million, something like that. Maybe like that a year for that year.
Right.
But
If I'm
he's
reading,
losing out on about 105, 115.
sure, all that guaranteed money too.
And then if he gets hurt on the tag, then
Yeah,
what?
I know.
So you think, Leon,
Bye-bye money.
Leon,
Bye-bye 100 million.
you think Trent Baalke wants him to play on the tag?
I hope not. I hope not. I hope he awards him because he bet on himself. All right, the organization wanted to see more out
They
of him.
told him to go prove it, and he
Yeah,
did.
the organization wanted to see more out of him. Listen, from what he did the last couple of years, didn't merit the type of money that his agents probably asked for. But this year, 17 and a half,
couldn't have come out better.
couldn't
for
have
him.
come out better.
So you can't. So from the player perspective, when you look at the tag, you can't view it as, hey, this is number one, giving my agent more time to negotiate potentially more money. Not to mention the open market will be going on, and let's say Danielle Hunter
keep driving it
gets a massive bag for $150 million. Well, now all of a sudden the price just went up for Josh. And so are you saying that it cannot be viewed as simply the tag is extending the negotiation window?
Yeah. I mean, it's benefiting the organization. But listen, when I was a free agent, the worst thing that could happen for me was that because there was no franchise tag. So I was in free agents, and I was considered one of the top 10 free agents coming out. Whatever. The worst thing for me was that when I sat around and saw guys that weren't on my level getting paid big money, and I'm looking at Drew like, Drew, what the hell is going on?
Right.
Huh? How's that cat making that money? How's that cat making that money? Josh Allen, if y'all sitting here thinking he's not thinking the same thing,
Yeah,
he's looking at totals.
Yeah.
He's looking at guys behind. It's going to be guys behind him who aren't tagged. They're going to make a lot of bread, and he's going to be looking like, "What? Wait a minute, what's going on?" It's going to happen.
Yeah, but he's got to make sure he doesn't get frustrated and say get something done, and then also not win in the end.
Well, he's got to be patient in the negotiation process, absolutely. But I'm still going to tell you that when free agency hits and the other defensive ends that got like 10 sacks or 12 sacks or didn't get as many sacks as he's got, and they get floated money, I mean, I know I'm going to stay out your pocket because I'm gonna celebrate your success,
Right.
but then I'm going to be looking at the Jaguars and my agent like, bro, what's the deal?
Like, I'll give you an example.
This guy making 105.
I'll give you an example. Madubuike up there in Baltimore, 13 sacks. So over a dozen sacks, but still 4 shy of what Josh Allen did. If he doesn't get tagged, he goes out there and he gets him a big deal. I don't know whether
He's gonna
Baltimore
get a big
does it,
deal.
and he will get a big deal.
Yes.
And he'll get, let's just say it's an average of $20 million a season, but it's also 56 up front or whatever the number is, yeah, that'll make him crazy. But the other good thing that, as far as the Jaguars are concerned, and I'm gonna give Khan credit here instead of Balky credit, because Christian Kirk was made the top paid wide receiver in that free agent cycle because they had to. They had to pay to go attract a free agent to come here to begin with. So he did get paid. Evan Ingram a year ago did get paid. And so they came up with big numbers. The number for the tight end position was up there for Evan Ingram. And also, in the end, spread over time, it was financially responsible. Look at the number that we mentioned yesterday that Brandon Sheriff got, a $49 million deal for 3 years, which is just insane. Now, those are the guys that they paid on the outside. But Evan Ingram was at least here for a year before he got his deal done. And so that's got to be encouraging for Josh Allen.
My thing is, this team cannot afford acrimony. It just can't. Mm-hmm. This is a fragile franchise right now. Seriously. After what happened last year, the way last year.
Are you going with feelings?
Yeah, the way last year ended and the way your quarterback played.
Yeah.
This is a franchise right now that's kind of at a crossroads. You cannot afford acrimony. They should do everything they can to set up and pay the guys that they, like Leon said, like they drafted him, they developed him, they told him to go, this is your spot. Now, go prove it. And he proved it. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They need leadership. They need happiness in that locker room right now.
Feeling.
I tell you,
is Matt Hayes calling for feeling?
It's not even really feelings. It's more of they are not in a good shape right now.
So I need it. We got head colds.
There's a lot of look, and I'm annoyed as hell because it's head cold. But I'm honestly, seriously, you look at that locker room, you look where they were, how they finished the season. All right, there's a lot of unknown right now. Mm-hmm. A lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknown on the offensive line.
I'll go back in time, and there were definitely moments where guys were getting paid from outside the locker room, and guys weren't getting paid inside the locker room. To Leon's point, and basically yours as well, Matt, is that it will tick people off. But there are so many things right now that I think this football team needs to figure out, not just finances. They need to figure out attitude, performance, and I just don't think the money contract for one guy is going to fix all those other things.
I don't either, but I think it's so he's going to play at a high level whenever he gets paid. There's no doubt about that. Even if he gets capped and he can't, and they can't figure out a deal, he's going to play well. There's no doubt about that. But the point I'm making is it's beyond the field. What's going on right now with this franchise is transcending the field into the locker room.
Yeah.
That's a problem right now.
It's culture.
Let me ask you this with regards to Josh Allen, Evan Ingram, his tag last year. And yes, to Matt's point, last year, Evan Ingram was tagged coming off of a playoff run. Mm-hmm. And so the vibes were better. But Evan Ingram had 70-plus catches, did he not? Was closing in on 1,000 yards. I'm sure guys in that locker room felt like he deserved the long-term deal. And I remember Christian Kirk tweeted out, he was like, don't worry, bro, you're going to be here. It's fine. You're going to be here. Were they happy he was on the tag? I don't think they showed support one way or another. They just knew that he was going to be in Jacksonville, and they were working towards a long-term deal. And so I think that is the sentiment you need to get, that there is working towards a long-term deal. And even if he is tagged, if they really are headed towards that deal and this is just to extend the negotiating window, I think guys in that locker room will be okay with that.
Well, that was also candy and nuts and roses after, you're a fumble away inside the 5 against the Chiefs from doing much more in the playoffs. Yes, of course. There's a lot of goodwill in the offseason last year. This year there isn't. This year it's completely different. That's kind of my point with it.
Yeah, and the Jaguars, organizationally, coaching staff as well, did Josh Allen a disservice not making the playoffs. He had 17.5 sacks, but if you get in the playoffs and you play somebody and you shine, you ball out, that's even more incentive for your team to sign you to a long-term deal. You just say you go up against whoever. You go up against, I ain't going to say the Ravens because they destroyed us. Yeah. Well, whoever we play in the playoffs. It probably was going to be the Browns. Yeah. The Browns would have been here in Jacksonville. They come here. He gets 2 sacks, a fumble, all that kind of stuff. So I'm saying that out of sight, out of mind, the fact that you weren't in the playoffs, you lose that luster. You lose that fact.
It's
true.
What
I'm saying? You lose that luster.
You made that point in the postseason, and it popped. I'm like, that 100% because Dante Fowler did something like that, and it rose, at least the opinion.
Your stock options go up when you're in the playoffs. That's where legends are made in the playoffs.
And heck, what Tony Baselli did to Bruce Smith. Don't think that wasn't a beginning of a Hall of Fame career that took place in the postseason. And so, yeah, it does have a hell of a lot to do with it. All right, you guys jump in, 641-1010. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota bringing you today's show. It'll be tag heavy because we're going to look at all the teams that are at least thinking about tags, and it doesn't necessarily mean that Jacksonville will be able to go after any of these guys if they don't get tagged, but it's certainly worth bringing up. Let's hit at that here real quick because we'll be keeping an eye on this stuff a bunch more today.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
According to our friend Edgar Thompson of the Orlando Sentinel, Billy Napier will promote Tyler Miles to be the Gators' strength coach. Miles is popular with the players. He was advocated for by the players to replace Craig Fitzgerald. He served as the director of player athletic development in 2023.
Okay, all right. Listen, he finds guys that make better guys, and that begins in the weight room.
It's late in the process. You're just elevating at this point.
That begins in the weight room. I haven't decided yet either Billy Napier, Billy Vanilli, Billy Bradley. I haven't decided yet, but I've got to.
You're out.
I've been out. I've got a few of them that I'm working on. Listen, I've been out, but I still have the old fingers and toes crossed, just hoping for something. As a matter of fact, let's just make this the 10-10 take. Complete and total aside from the tag, but it certainly is worth bringing up.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
So Sonny's, when they perfected those recipes, they said, don't stray. Keep it that way. That way you can deliver on the promise of just smoked, slow, ribs, turkey, chicken, you name it. You can find all of your favorite sides to go along with it at any of your area Sonny's. I got a little bit of a kick out of this over the weekend. The Florida Gators were able to lock in one of the big 4-star commitments coming out of Georgia, and it's a big interior offensive lineman. And so he's basically pledged that he is coming to the University of Florida out of Fort Valley, Georgia, Peyton Joseph. And listen to this quote, which I thought was kind of, I don't know, it amused me. This is the young man, quote, "Mostly talking with Coach Napier and Sales led me to commit because they have shown great program development. UF is on the way to the top, and I feel like as a player I would love to be part of the process." I love what he said there. That's nothing but belief and energy. But did you not get a kick out of Matt when he said they have shown great program development? That was something that I did not expect a recruit to say. That is the 10-10
Maybe he meant
take.
NIL development.
I don't know, but
They're starting
great
to get
program development.
yeah.
Translation,
It's
please.
2025 recruit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So translation,
matter
please.
Anyway.
Nothing. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Fine.
might not matter anyway. So, I mean, at this point.
Don't make me laugh. I'll fall over.
We're really the walking wounded here
Oh my
on XL
gosh!
Primetime.
All right. So we'll get back to the tag, everything that's coming up. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. They bring you today's show. They are there to wow you. They want to take care of you. Show you the lineup of SUVs, pickups, beautiful sedans, economy, luxury, whatever you want. You can start online or you can hop by the lot, test drive them all, and you're just going to meet great people, including Linda. They are all there to wow you. BeaverChevrolet.com. You can find them on Phillips Highway, and BeaverToyotaSt.Augustine.com. You can find them in the AUG on US 1. They have a special golf event coming up that I'll be telling you about that hopefully you can get involved with. Beaver Toyota, safe driving for kids. So we'll tell you all about that. All right, so a couple of other big names. What if Tampa is to lose a big name like Mike Evans? If Miami's to lose a big name like Christian Wilkins? Some of these guys that certainly do represent, hey, Jacksonville could use a big-time star in the interior part of the defensive line, or a big-time star if, say, they don't go the Calvin Ridley direction. So anyway, let's touch on a couple of them that might be able to be out in the open market if they don't get tagged. We'll do that coming up on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Now, Studio Talk with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this.
Mornings on 1010XL.
And totally redeem yourself!
92.5 FM.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No, towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom! You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Feeling the chill or breaking a sweat in your own home? Call JTM Comfort Services. Father-son owned and veteran operated with 40 years experience to serve the Guggen Nation. JTM Comfort Services gets it right the first time, providing top-notch service, maintenance, and replacements for your heating and cooling needs. Get up to $1,300 back on the new system. Right now, get a free service call with any repair or replacement. Licensed and insured. Visit jtmcooling.com.
Your comfort is our name. Call my dad to keep you in the game.
Have you been dreaming of enhancing your living space with top-quality custom windows and doors? Now is the perfect time to make that dream a reality with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires February 29th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud to be the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Frustrated taking pills that don't work? Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I know Honda, they're so cool on the road and off the road, but guess what? Tell them about them being on the water.
There is an all-new Honda boat coming out. We went out and partnered with Scout, who's been making the finest holes in the business for years. They're fuel-efficient, dynamic, and class-leading.
So Honda is in the boat business, and you will see boats coming to Cycles of Jacksonville soon.
We will have them in the spring, ready to go.
CyclesofJacksonville.com. Keep track of all of it. Find them on Atlantic near Regency.
Friday on The Frangie Show. Tune in for the House Call segment brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehab. Join the discussion as a JOI expert tells you about an educational event they're hosting this weekend. JOI, where the pros go.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. This community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. American Electrical even has its own academy dedicated to training select students in the electrical trade, and the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to American-Electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast. American-Electrical.com.
Lower mortgage rates are here, and smart homeowners are wiping out all their credit card debt with help from Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Right now, Loan Pronto has a cash-out refinance rate of just 5.49%. You heard me. That's a huge drop. So you can get refinanced now, get cash out of your home's equity to wipe out all those credit cards and other high-interest loans. You can save hundreds every month with lower payments. Or, if you still have a mortgage rate in the threes, you can use Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit. Just get the cash you need and leave your primary mortgage intact. Loan Pronto can get you $50, $75, $100, even $200,000 in just a matter of days. Bottom line, Loan Pronto's got several options to help you erase debt and take control of your finances. Call today, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508, or loanpronto.com, 999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, 5.49%, has 6.39 APR, subject to lender approval.
Open early and open late. Dailies is always there, making things easy for you to cruise in and cruise out. So hit Dailies Cold Case the next time you're craving a cold one. Bud Light by the case, plus plenty of singles to choose from. Corona to the King of Beers to Stella or a Natty. They're all cold at Dailies.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Well, we saw the same thing that happened to the top lane with the bottom lane. They got broke up, and now we've got William Byron leading the bottom lane with Austin Cindric behind him. Ross Chastain leading the outside lane.
1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank, and away they go. That is Cindric into Chastain and up into traffic. And the Daytona 500.
Race winner will be the 24. We'll need the 24 to start finish line.
Goes to victory lane, William Byron. From Charlotte, North Carolina, Rudy Fugel, his crew chief.
One. Yes, we won.
Unbelievable. 40 years to the day. Hendrick Motorsports goes 1-2 at the Daytona 500.
Grilling up lunch with Leon and the Sausage Dudes. Sausage with a purpose on 1010XL.
First time since 2014.
Yeah.
I believe Hendrick Motorsports also was crossing the finish line first in victory lane at the Daytona 500. William Byron is your champion. Did you watch it? Did they fill the grandstands?
I thought.
What are our thoughts? Because I was saying this in our promo meeting this morning.
Yeah.
At this point, we've had 3 out of the last 5 Daytona 500s finish on a Monday, even if one of them was in the dead of the night at 3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I look at this, and, for everyone who was like, oh, my goodness, like, are they still going to have fans show up? NASCAR fans at this point know that whether the Daytona 500, collision course, inevitable.
Yeah, they mark off an extra day. I did see plenty coming from Daytona yesterday that just basically said, give up. We don't have any more vacation time left. We got to get home. But there's still plenty of them that do it. The way they stay there in like a kind of like they're nomads. They'll just move from one place to another. They'll just put down stakes until the next race and move on. But I never saw the grandstands enough to even make me wonder how many people were there, honestly. The way they presented the race last night with a lot of, I think, just a few extra wrinkles of just so many great cameras installed on cars or areas around the racetrack. It's just such a cool watch, and I was pulled in again. And let me just tell y'all, that damn between Bowman and the eventual winner, those two guys jacked up my man Ross Chastain big time, okay? Busch Light was about to roll into victory lane. I was going to drink Busch Light for the rest of the week. And Chastain, who we have had on this show before, I don't know if you remember him, Leon. I'll go back and find the picture, but he was one of the kids, not too big at all, and we set him up in front of you, and you gave him just a little, kind of quick pep talk. And this is when he was just coming through Xfinity Series. Bottom line is a Florida-grown kid and had a chance. And in the first big wreck, he goes to the front. Things are looking good. Logano and all those other guys get taken out, and it was the Ally car and it was the Exalta car. And those were the two that I just felt like, and you guys can argue with me on the text line if you want, 641-1010, because I felt like those are the two that jacked up everything and caused the big melee and the big crash. And then at the end, Chastain was making this really super sweet move to the bottom of the racetrack just to see if he could get around those other guys. And boom, up comes number 2, takes him out. Sucked.
Matt and Baker, y'all know what's wrong with NASCAR? Logano should have socked his rear end right in the teeth. Soft, nice, cuddly personalities, dudes nowadays. LOL. I do remember not too long ago, and by too long ago, I mean it was 2 or 3 Daytona 500s ago, that Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick got out of their car. There was, if nothing else, a war of words after a crash on, I believe it was the third or the fourth to last lap.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're not fighting, but they definitely have gotten out of the car and yelled at each other. I've been witness to it.
There have been times before where it was suggested that it might have been orchestrated just to show a little anger and willingness to throw knuckles because that's the way the old school boys did it. And you see a couple of them that look like they were contrived, but whatever. Tempers should flare when you're going 200 miles an hour and someone destroys your chance to win by one poor move. But they are so tightly packed. The aerodynamics of these cars are so unbelievable. I was just stoked that Chevy and Toyota were in a position to move up and win that bad boy. Toyota almost, and Chevy got it done.
So we're sitting in our pre-show meeting about, an hour or so ago, and we're looking at Twitter. We're looking at on all the various sporting outlets, waiting. And at 11:36, Heather Denich of ESPN, who just popped up on our TV screen here at 1010XL World Headquarters, posts the college football playoff unanimously approves the 5+7 model for a new 12-team playoff. It is here. Matt Hayes, and how do we feel about a 5+7 officially model for this 12-team playoff?
Well, they had to move to it because the Pac-12 is no longer. They couldn't do the 6+6, which is what they originally agreed to. And again, this is only for 2024 and 2025. It's not for the new contract, which begins in 2026, the one that's going to be paying out $1.3 billion annually. That deal, the SEC and the Big Ten want all at large, 12 at large. My guess is they're probably eventually going to get it. It may take a while, but I think they'll probably eventually get there. So I wouldn't see this. This is just a temporary fix right now for the next 2 years, this 5+7, which is it's a good thing. The top 5 conference champions, which means you're going to get the 4 Power 4 champions, and you'll get the top non-Power 5, Group of 5, whatever you want to call it, champion, and then you'll get 7 at-large teams. And if you look at last year, the way they finished last year, the final 12 of last year, every team but one, Florida State, was from either the new SEC or the new Big Ten.
Yeah.
So
they're the
you
only
can see where this is headed. There's no doubt where this is headed.
No, it's the
Little man will get a seat at the table though because they're
for the first 2 years.
Right. The
Yeah.
group
First
of
2
five.
years.
The
Yeah.
group of 5 school
Yeah, and
will
then
be.
boom, it'll be gone. Well, actually, to me, his question. Remember what you said, and tell me if you still believe this is true. If they show out this first year a group of 5 team and actually compete, then they'll feel the pressure to keep them.
Yeah, but I can't imagine. I can't imagine you're going to get a. Here's the thing. It's different. It's different when the group of 5 team like Tulane beats USC in the Cotton Bowl when USC's in a Cotton. They don't really care.
Yeah.
It's just a game. If that's a playoff game, okay? If it's USC and Tulane in a playoff game, that's a different deal. It's a completely different deal. So you won't have opt-outs. You'll have teams full strength going at it, playing in a playoff game, in a tournament. So, yeah, it'll be a little different.
I think that'll be proof of the pudding because everyone says that was always the excuse. Oh, they weren't into it. We will find out. I tend to agree the bigs, the heavies are going to end up winning out.
Well, listen, I'm on both sides of the fence, all right? I'm on both sides of the fence because, listen, I'm going in my era, all right? I was left out of a championship game at 11-1 and 10-2. And I think deservingly, I think that you got to be among the elites to win a national championship, But in saying that, I like more ball. I like more ball. I like the playoff system. I like more ball.
And you like Cinderellas, too.
Yeah, I like Cinderella. I think that when it's all said and done, the cream's going to rise to the top anyway.
Right.
No matter who you lay it in.
To me, it's just it's a wasted pick is what it is. You wasted one of those 12 pressure spots by doing that. You know why? Yeah. Because let's just say it's Tulane, okay? So they go through a bad conference and get a good record through a bad conference, and then you're going to put them in a tournament.
Yeah, but let's just go back to when there were
literally a wasted pick in that tournament.
All right, and look,
that'd be like in the NFL with the worst division. They won the worst division. We'll throw them in there.
Well, hello,
it does happen.
It does happen all the
right.
time. And hello, wild card who goes on to win Super Bowl.
But they also play in that league. They don't play
exactly.
Like in
It's a much different world. It's a much more level playing field. But the other thing is that Cincinnati, all right, when we only had 4 spots, Cincinnati was invited in because of all the pressure. They did not win the football game. They didn't get completely blown out.
No,
but
they acquitted themselves
competed.
fine.
Yeah, they competed. And so that was at the very least in a group of 4 teams make it in. Right. They were given an opportunity. In the group of 12, I have no problem with one team. Oh, look, we didn't get in there because Cincinnati did. Come on.
Again, culturally, this is a country that next to the National Football League and next to college football, the next biggest sporting event, arguably, is the NCAA tournament. And why does even the casual basketball fan have interest in the NCAA basketball tournament?
The potential.
Gambling,
yeah,
yes.
That's first.
And
that's first and foremost.
Right, gambling. That's
but
number one.
Filling out brackets.
And number 2 is finding a lesser-known school that can somehow emerge and become a darling and become a talking point at the water cooler.
Right,
and
but
as well
one
as gambling.
player can lift a basketball team.
Yeah.
One player cannot lift a group of 5.
No.
team.
But at the very least, when there were 4, Cincinnati acquitted themselves okay.
Right.
And so the potential is there. And we are going to go through 2 years where, and remember this, you're going to have the group of 5 guy, the conference guy that gets in there. It's going to be in the campus round. It's not going to be. They may get eliminated in the campus round, and then you don't ever see them in the quarterfinals or semifinals. When we're only 4, Cincinnati was in the semifinals because they wanted to acknowledge that perfect record.
Well, it's going to be 5
from the group
versus
of 5.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
So the group of 5 teams is going to be the 12 seed. You know that. So then
Very
it'll be
likely.
5 versus 12 in the first round of the playoffs. So let's just say they got to go play at Georgia.
Yeah.
Or they got to go play,
Penn State or wherever.
At Michigan. I mean, to me, that's a wasted game.
And
that's a wasted game, especially if if you've got a team like, and I'm just throwing this team out there, you've got a team like 10-2 Tennessee that's right there at 13, and you get and you know what Tennessee is, you know how well they've played, right? That could be the game. That could be your 5 versus 12 game. Michigan against Tennessee instead of Michigan against Tulane.
But we are talking, honestly, like right now, just one of 4 games that will have one questionable team. That's it.
Right, and there's only 2 more years of it anyway. So
right, well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it's not going to matter in 2026, as our friend in Indiana on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures points out, when the Big Ten and the SEC break away from the NCAA and break away from the college football playoff, have their own playoff, then none of this will matter. My question for you, Matt, is if it was 10-2 Indiana, 10-2 Iowa, would you be
I would much rather see that than Tulane, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Well, you sound a bit of an elitist.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
I
am. I don't know what else to say. I am. I want to see good ball.
What if it's undefeated Army?
Okay, I still want to see 10-2 Tennessee or Iowa.
Are you not an American? I'm just kidding.
I just do. I mean, I want to see good ball. I want to see good games.
Well, most of the guys that were up-and-comers in the group of 5, the Cincinnatis, the UCFs, they've been pulled up because of all this conference realignment that's taken place. So they do have a path. Now, I guarantee you this, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder for a UCF or a Cincinnati to get into this title talk in the conferences that they're in now versus where they were, because your point is correct, Matt, that they play a much softer schedule. They only had a couple teams on their entire 13-gamer that were worthy of the games that they're going to be played in. So I get it. I totally get it. But I still don't mind one Cinderella. She may turn into a pumpkin at 8:30 instead of midnight, but at least one Cinderella to start us off, just to kind of see what it looks like.
Or you just, the group of 5 guys, guess what? Go have your own playoff.
They may end up being that.
Go get have an 8-team playoff, because NBC will eat that up. Some network will eat that up and televise it.
Yeah, but you've already said that even some of the games that are at the butt end of this, the 5 and 12, that ESPN may sell it off, farm it off, because they don't think that many people will be paying attention.
No, that's not what I said. I said they're going to sell it off to make money off it. Okay. So they're going to sell it to Fox to make money off it. There's all kind of attention for it. They specifically did this, got to the point where when they signed this deal that they could have the sub-license agreement, so they can guarantee they're going to make money off it. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put like a firewall against the possibility of losing money down the road. So if you sub-license it, you can just say, Fox, you're going to have to pay this, period.
Yeah.
We're the only people that have it. You got to pay this to televise it. End of discussion.
Well, it is going to set up great, and
and Fox will do it.
Yeah, I can imagine. And look, as long as eyeballs are on it, and they will figure out a way. We've been talking about this whole streaming thing versus over the air and free. Forget about it. That ship has sailed. They're going to figure out a way to keep charging you more for more if they can. That's for sure. One of our nooners last night said he was in Daytona. He said, I was there. The stands were nearly full. Was amazing for a Monday night.
Nice.
And he did agree with me that Cindric and the two cars would cause problems for my Busch Light.
Well, somebody else was like,
Right.
E.T. and young intern Jacob were there, and I said yes. Younger intern Jacob, a round of applause for him, JJ, because he had great social content for us.
They put some good video
Since
out.
last Wednesday with the Speed Weeks coverage, it was tremendous. He did say, though, that E.T. is, he shows up and he immediately, goes to find the rock.
Oh, yeah.
Tries to take selfies, and I was like, yeah, it's, it is a show.
That's how he rolls,
It
man.
is a show at Daytona. I mean, that's the nature of it. And, hey, listen, for as much as, we talk about the NFL and college football being, the 1-2 in this town, the Stars, they roll through down the road from us at Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, it's still a great show. Anybody who gets to go down there will love it. Anybody who hasn't, make sure you do it because it is still a great show. That's for sure. All right, now let's get back to this tag talk. And I don't think this team, Leon, can be dreaming about if a guy is left out in free agency, they'll snap him up because this team just doesn't have the money. They don't have the luxury. But at the very least, when we were going to break, I said, okay, what if? Let's just play the what if game for a second. Calvin Ridley, they say, you know what? We saw some good, but we didn't see great. We're not sure we want to pay you that big money. Mike Evans, he's dying to get that big payday. He's been a Buccaneer his entire life. Could you imagine a scenario, a situation where he could become free and then Jacksonville could figure out a way to sign a Mike Evans? Because Mike Evans has delivered every single season he's been in the NFL.
He has. He absolutely has. He's your deep ball threat. I mean, he's a big physical guy. May have lost a step or two, but still can catch radius. Had some concerns earlier. I mean, a couple of weeks where he was dropping a lot of balls, made up for him in the playoffs. A couple of long balls that he caught in the game. Yeah, big physical presence. A guy that you've got to roll coverage to. A guy that you've got to account for. So I mean, yeah, Mike Evans. I mean, it's all about the price tag. I mean, do you go? Does Tampa let him go? I mean, within the division, usually the first people that come picking from the cherry tree is people within your division.
Right.
So people within their division will probably be going after him as well because he has a relationship with them or whatever, or has played against them, and they've seen enough from him to where they will want him on this team. So once he gets past that, then I don't know.
He is a one. There's no doubt he's a one.
Oh, he's a one.
Gosh.
No doubt about that. And if you're going after him, you're not keeping Ridley.
Yeah, and he went through one of those games where he had a couple drops, and you're like, what the H is going on? Then he turns right around and he makes big play after big play. And he is an alpha dog, and he already has a Hall of Fame resume.
He does. There is a little hesitation there, though. He's definitely at the down of his career.
Yeah, it's just the age. You can't help it.
And he's going to get and you're going to pay him a lot of money. And then how does he perform?
Yeah.
Does
All right.
he? He's still that one guy.
It probably would be a comp to like a D-Hop 2-year deal with the Titans. You think, or do you think he commands a 4-year deal still at his age? Which is funny to say at his age, given he's my age too. I don't think he's that old. But that's
but we're talking. We all know the NFL life. It just doesn't last forever,
Right.
Especially with these guys running backs expire way fast, and then receivers maybe.
Yeah, but if you're Mike Evans and you get a 2-year deal, that's a kind of a prove it deal. 2 years says prove
too much
it.
for that.
I mean, 3. He's going to want probably more years than that. You would think, right?
I mean, so D-Hop is a year older than him. He's 31.
And he had accomplished.
He's on a
a ton.
2-year deal.
Yeah. He had accomplished a ton.
Yeah.
And so if someone is lucky enough to have a chance to get him, they're probably going to have to throw some money at him to get him to come off of the Tampa roster, because I don't know how rosy it is down there financially, but I would think he wants to be a lifer in Tampa Town.
Yeah, he wants money. He's got a ring. I mean, at this particular point, he wants to get paid again.
So since Mia compared him to D-Hop, let's say you sign him, he gives you 75 catches, 1,000 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Worth it?
I'm thinking more from Mike Evans, but that's still pretty damn good. I'm thinking more. Yeah.
I mean, but what's the difference between that and
That's
what you got
Ridley.
from Calvin Ridley?
Right.
That's the same thing.
Right. And so, and I would pay a guy that's just a tick younger, but Mike Evans has done more over a longer period of time. And then you got to say, okay, am I buying Ridley for that next step that he's ready to take? I don't know. I don't know if you know this. He loves football. Loves to practice. So we'll see.
Mike Evans not listed among the players that would be eligible for a franchise or a transition tag. And note, because we had a couple Nooners who were asking about a restricted, unrestricted franchise tag. As far as I know, it's the franchise tag or it's the transition tag. That's what we call the two of them.
Yeah,
now.
and then you have exclusive rights and then non-exclusive.
Right,
Yeah.
which is what Lamar Jackson experienced last year.
Mhm.
So that is where there's a differentiation. The following players are eligible to be either franchise tagged or transition tagged, starting today and lasting in through Tuesday, March 5th, which was, of course, 2 weeks from today. Josh Allen of your Jacksonville Jaguars, Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants, who played on the tag a year ago, Brian Burns of the Carolina Panthers, Kyle Duggar of the Patriots, T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals, Josh Jacobs, who played on the franchise tag last year, Jalen Johnson, the star corner for the Chicago Bears, Justin Matabuke, who we mentioned from the Baltimore Ravens, Baker Mayfield, Michael Pittman in Indianapolis, Christian Wilkins in Miami, and Antoine Winfield in Tampa Bay. Now, what's so fascinating for me, because I know who the apple of many a Duvaler's eye is, the guy up in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting about that scenario is that you could tag T. Higgins, extend that negotiating window, maybe come to terms on a deal before the year starts, or just have him play on the tag this year. Guess what happens next year? You got to pay Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Cincinnati has, I believe it's the third most cap space, fifth most cap space.
Right.
They have $59 million. So if they're going to get a deal done with both those guys, now is probably the time.
Probably, because everything goes up, and you're going to have to deal with two guys that are alphas, like you're describing.
So, but it feels like the prevailing thought the last few weeks out of Cincinnati has been that he is a prime candidate to be tagged, akin to here in Jacksonville. And so, I mean, hey, maybe I just don't see a world in which they let him walk that easily.
No.
And that just like here in Jacksonville with Josh Allen.
Yeah, you have, this is why we go back and we always talk about the tag, because you only, I think most often teams use it to negotiate, of course, but they also try and use it when they feel like they're the most desperate to make sure that that the guy does not get out of town. And that would be the case when you're talking about making sure that a Josh Allen doesn't leave here, or making sure that a T. Higgins or whomever, could be Jamar Chase next year, just doesn't get out of town. Because the last thing you want to do is to answer to your fan base, how the hell did you let him get out of here? And you know what that feeling's like. That's for sure.
What if it's a scenario where Cincinnati gives Jamar Chase a long-term deal and still works on T. Higgins?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just can't see in the world where they would tag Jamar Chase and not give him a long. Was he going to the last year of his deal?
No,
this year?
This was the last year of his deal.
Oh, this was the last year of his deal.
He's technically going. It's the same as Josh Allen.
Yeah, for T.
No, T. Higgins is like
Jamar.
Jamar Chase has got one more year.
No, so Jamar, because he was a first-round pick, T. Higgins was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
The fifth-year option could be used.
Yeah.
So technically, he would have one more year on top of it.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, I would think with $59 million in cap space, you're going to try to lock these guys up now while you have the room, are you not?
Yeah, but what if you pay Jamar Chase and then – I mean, because I just can't see a world where they're going to pick up the option for Jamar Chase, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, what if they give him a long-term deal and they tag T. Higgins?
Then T would be pouting. He would be pouting. He would, and I get it.
He can pout all they want. I mean, listen, he's not as great as he is. He's not Jamar Chase.
Exactly. And so you got to figure out.
And the franchise can say, hey, listen, we got to sign this guy to a long-term deal.
Right.
You know, and we got to work. We'll work on T. Higgins.
Okay, here's another one.
There's also the window's kind of closing also for the Bengals.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
All right, here's another one real quick, because when you think about the idea of making sure Tua had the fifth-year option picked up, but he is into the final year of his contract. He did not get the big deal that a Justin Herbert got and a Joey Burrow got. Those were three of the
why have we heard nothing out of Miami?
Picks. Okay.
Why are we not talking about that more?
And he will play, and I think I'm just trying to pull from memory here, in the neighborhood of $24 million, maybe even less than that he's making this year, when those other cats are averaging $40+ million a year. And so it can't be sitting well with him, but at the same time, they bet against him because they weren't sure he was going to be able to come through this year healthy, and he did.
They're also $51 million over the cap. So, yeah, maybe
I
that's
didn't realize
why.
they were that high.
Yeah,
Oh my
maybe
gosh.
that's the third most in the National
Yeah.
Football League. Maybe that's why we're not talking about the Tua situation. But
Yeah.
another interesting name as we continue into the 1 o'clock hour with this discussion of players that are eligible as of today for the franchise or transition tag. Another guy who I would think they're trying to hold on to in Miami is Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, that's the guy that I would just love to have in the interior part of the line. Go back in time and remember when they had that trio of stars on that defensive line, and Cleveland Farrell was the first guy taken, and Christian Wilkins was taken, 13th, something like that, to the Miami Dolphins, and the guy has been a stud inside.
Very good friends with Trevor Lawrence, too.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Travis Etienne.
Clemson love, yeah.
Just throwing that energy out into the
Mm-hmm.
universe. We need some positive energy. Hit us up on the text line, 641-1010. The text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We got the Walking Dead. We've got whatever Joe's hacking up. Send us your positive vibes on a Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevy Tuesday right here on XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Catch Gators basketball on 1010XL.
The Gators take a trip to Tuscaloosa for a full-court fight against ranked Alabama. Tomorrow at 7 on 1010 a.m.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
My name is Brian. I've lost 42 pounds on Awaken 180. I went from a size 40 to a 36. I went from a 48 jacket. I bought a suit the other day, 44. And they took me off 3 meds, including blood pressure. It's not really a diet. It's a lifestyle change. I actually had a steak the other night. I had asparagus, and I had a piece of cake. And that's the week I lost 5.8 pounds. So you know what? If you think you can, you can. I feel like a young man again. Energy levels popping because I'm doing 14 to 16,000 steps Monday through Friday. Awaken 180 is my solution for weight loss. Go get it.
Thanks, Brian. Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Increased energy, reducing medications. The benefits are endless when you do what Brian did, I did, and over 21,000 others have done. We called the solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 weight loss. Proven weekly results, and then receive free support for life. Give them a call, 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Doobie Brothers. Tom Johnston, Michael McDonald, Pat Simmons, and John McPhee. The 2024 Tour. With special guest, the Robert Cray Band, live in Jacksonville. Performing at Daly's Place July 8th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. For more, visit thedoobieBrothers.com.
Do you have a lift station at your business? Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services would love to be your maintenance provider. Give us a call for a quote today, 904-862-6769, or online at duckrooter.com.
This is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about how God never fails us. In the Bible, Christ says this, I will in no way fail you or leave you without support. This is so important to remember because we can have the attitude, where is God when I need him? Why is this problem happening to me? No, just because your mind is saying one thing doesn't mean that God isn't going to do what he said. God has never failed us in the past. He's not about to start right now.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out the 2024 Hills Pass at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Unlimited golf, including golf car and preferred tee times for just one low price. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to purchase your Hills Pass today.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Pull. Put your team together for Operation New Uniform's Veterans Cup Clay Shoot on Friday, April 5th. This year's fundraiser will feature celebrity shooters, great food, prizes, and of course, bragging rights for the winners. Enjoy a day on the range and support Operation New Uniform's mission to empower transitioning service members, veterans, and military spouses find their new uniform in the business world. Go to onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org today.
Hey, this is David here with Royal Pest Services. Do you have that room in the house that is just too cold in the winter and just too hot in the summer? To learn about our pest-rated insulation, visit royalpestservices.com or call 886-2847.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. Today marks the first day that teams can put the franchise and transition tags on players. The Jaguars' two candidates to keep an eye on is linebacker Josh Allen and wide receiver Calvin Ridley. The third ranked in the ECHL, the Jacksonville Icemen stay hot, defeating the Savannah Ghost Pirates this past weekend 4-2. Icemen take on the Orlando Solar Bears tomorrow at home. FSU men's basketball are looking to snap their 3-game losing streak before the end of the season and host Boston College tonight, who they took down earlier this season on the road. Tip-off is at 7. Florida Gators men's baseball are in Jacksonville tonight as they battle against the North Florida Ospreys. First pitch at 6 o'clock. It's 65 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Grilling up lunch with Leon and the Sausage Dudes. Sausage with a purpose on 1010XL.
We are the dudes. He is the sausage. I don't know what I was going to say, but we do it with a purpose every single day on XL.
Hey, man.
XL Primetime. Leon Searcy.
Right, I don't know where you were going.
Matty
Stop
Hayes.
right there, man.
Me O'Brien. Joe C. along with JJ LaSelva cranking it out. And, we are here in beautiful Duval, but we have listeners all around the globe. Everywhere you go, there's people that are tuning in to 1010XL 92.5 FM. And so I will say a round of applause is needed for one Mark Carnival, who is sitting poolside in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So he says, "Hola, on Vallarta." And take a look at the text line, and he shot us a picture. And that is a beautiful little setup that they've got there for and I love saying this, the Mexico Open Evidanta. And so
Nice.
right there in beautiful
Is Tiger
Vallarta.
playing?
No.
I hear that was quite the talking point yesterday. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
He's taunting us right now.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Is
He is.
Is that
He's
pool?
100% taunting.
Is that poolside? What am I looking at?
Bro,
Take a look at that, bro.
Is some red sangria somewhere around? Huh?
Carney's literally taunting us.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that looks pretty good right there.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And on the complete other end of the spectrum, we have a nooner listening to us from Minnesota. How cold is it there, 652?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Let us
I
know.
don't think it was as warm as the picture that Carney just sent us.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, you give me. I look at it. I feel like I'm the walking wounded and already walking pneumonia over there.
See, that's what
because
y'all
we've
need.
had,
y'all need that right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yes,
is
100%
that
yes.
is the cure to what y'all have right
I
now.
need sun.
Some poolside sun
and
some red sangria.
Yes, heat.
Oh, yeah. I
I'm
do
so
like that.
tired of this wet. Let's heat. I want to sweat, man.
I do like that idea. All right, it is XL Primetime. Thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota on a beautiful Tuesday. I do like the fact that it's warming up. We see a little sunshine, and thankfully they were able to get all the rain out of North Florida and down at the Daytona over the last couple days to where they could run under the stars last night, which is always a great scene whenever you see them do that. And you were able to hear it right here on 1010 XL with the Daytona 500. I got this great story about FSU in Florida coming up in just a little bit, but we did end the 1 o'clock hour going into this discussion about the franchise tag and dreaming of who might be out there. This football team, they can't necessarily dream about the Christian Wilkins of the world. I would love to see a guy like that. So now you don't have him. You're not going to go get him. So now they're probably going to have to find that type of guy in the draft, which is what we've been talking about.
Are you saying Miami's going to tag him despite being $51 million over the cap?
I don't know exactly how it's going to shake out because if you go back and think of each offseason, particularly this one here a year ago, and how far they were over the cap, they weren't 51, but they had to restructure a lot of contracts to collect some cash, and you can see that scenario down there.
Let's go to that point then for this team in this town. Let's kind of run through.
They need to do it.
Right. So right now the Jaguars have $11 million in cap space. They are in the green, which is at least a positive because obviously there's quite a few teams in the red, i.e. the New Orleans Saints. $83 million, Leon, over the cap. And they're committed to Derek Carr for at least the next 2 years.
Good luck with that.
Have fun down in New Orleans. So here's what the Jaguars' cap situation looks like heading into 2024. The biggest cap number is Christian Kirk at $24 million. He renegotiated why am I blanking on the term? Restructured.
Yeah.
Restructured his deal last year. Personally, would anticipate the same. He's not going anywhere. Brandon Scherf, a $23 million cap hit, a 14.8 dead cap number if he was to be cut.
That's the one that gets me a little bit because I don't like the dead cap money, but I also don't like the price that they have to pay him right now because, like we said earlier, a 3-year, $49 million deal for a guard that has not come through.
Ooh. It's also the commitment to playing him too.
Yeah.
You have to remember that too, because if you move on from him, then you're moving on. You're finding someone else there.
Correct. Right. And who is your option? I know we have rose-colored glasses for Cooper Hodges. But he hasn't actually taken an NFL snap
I
yet.
agree with that. But my point with your committing to play him is he could get injured again.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you still are on the hook for a big chunk.
To the defense of Brandon Scherf, he did restructure his deal last offseason. So perhaps he does again. Maybe that changes that number even more so. Foye Oluokun, a $21 million cap hit, a $14.5 million dead cap number.
And look, that guy, I love Foye. I think he's proven that he's a leader, he's responsible, he's prepared, he's all these things. He became a little bit of a better player, I think, from the inside by doing more things for this football team. Think of him getting to the quarterback, picking off a football, taking it home to the house, along with doing what he always does, which is just tackle people left and right. So I could see maybe giving him some money up front, which, Leon, whenever we talk about restructuring, that's essentially what's happening, correct?
Yeah, they're basically taking up front money and reducing their salary to make more room, more cap room.
So he might be a candidate for that.
He might be a guy like that.
So maybe I'm wrong here, but wasn't the idea of taking those two linebackers is that one of them would eventually replace Foye?
No, they brought him all in out of that. They brought them all in at the same time. Hell, Trent Baalke, if you peel back a layer of him, he's got linebacker tattoos all over his body.
There's also a running back in the fifth round, too. There's a running back in the fifth round tattoo, too.
Unbelievable.
One of those guys should be able to allow you out of that contract, right?
Yeah, you would think, but no Muma, no Lloyd doing that, at least not right now.
And then it's a $14.5 million dead cap number. Not that, dead cap in this day and age is all,
It's not terrible, but if you
I remember when Blake Bortles got cut and it was like, oh, my God, the dead cap. And now it's like everybody has dead cap.
Yeah.
So it should be noted there were only two players that at least public knowledge did not restructure a season ago. Foye restructured his contract, took more money up front. Brandon Scherf, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk. The two players who did not were Cam Robinson and Darius Williams. Yeah. Cam Robinson, the next highest number on that list, a $21 million cap hit, a $5 million dead cap number.
Yeah, if they didn't restructure his deal, he's gone.
Right, and that's what I was told last year. That was the prevailing thought was, you know what, we're not restructuring you because you're probably gone next year.
Yeah.
We're giving you your money now. But my question for you, Leon, is, and again, when you look at this, $21 million cap hit versus a $5 million dead cap number, I mean, that's a savings of $16 million.
Mm-hmm.
My question for you with Cam Robinson, and we've gone back and forth on this, but I think, now we really need to talk about it as we get ready for the combine next week and all the, the picture coming into focus. Do you try to trade Cam Robinson?
I mean, he has trade value. I mean, if you just let him go, I mean, he's gonna garner attention from free agency. I mean, the only issue that you want to probably have with him is staying healthy. Staying healthy, and he was suspended first 4 games, and he missed three games again, 2 or 3 games.
The total of 8.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a little wear and tear on that tire. So I mean, you could probably get some value for him before you just let him go into free agency, but someone's going to pick him up.
Okay, so
someone's going to get is going to be interested in it. For sure.
Let's do this though. If you were to look at the idea of moving him, and I still think it's a high risk proposition because you do not have answers that you are 100% sure of at left and right tackle. You just don't right now. They may draft another guy, and then they'll probably have a little bit better plan. But anyway, if you do want to get that number off the books, trading him is value to the other team too. Because he's at least more affordable than what might be out there in free agency world. And you can negotiate with one team exclusively. So that might happen.
You also could argue they already have their left tackle on the roster. If you believe
Anton?
in Walker or Anton. I mean, Anton.
Anton can move over.
Anton or Walker Little, who Walker Little's only costing at $2.45.
Right, it's money. It's strictly
It is
money.
money.
Right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm only simply saying that you do not know you're set at left and right tackle. You don't.
Well,
I don't disagree, but I don't know how much better. Let's just say Walker Little's completely healthy. Okay, how much better is Cam than Walker Little? If he is,
well, that's what they're looking at organizationally. Well, all things equal,
right?
They're teetering on the same seesaw.
Yeah, he was better. I think in the end, overall, the total amount of time that he's played left tackle versus Walker Little.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got more. He's got more tape. He's got better tape.
Yeah.
Than Walker.
More and better.
He's got
more
better,
and better.
A larger sample size.
Yeah.
Let's continue this exercise as we kind of figure out, maybe where potential cap casualties could be that then could open that $11 million in cap space the Jaguars have. Maybe that does allow you, and maybe if you get a deal done with Josh Allen, to then go out and add some guys in free agency. So Rayshawn Jenkins, a $12 million cap hit, a $7.136 million dead cap number if you were to cut him.
Yeah, Rayshawn, if you're looking up, and like we're trying to figure out whether Walker can replace Cam, are you looking up and saying Antonio Johnson can replace Rayshawn? If you feel that way and you're ready to gamble on it, then you're going to do it. And you're going to say goodbye to Rayshawn, and you're going to introduce the next guy that's going to come in and take over that spot. That's really what you got to figure out. But you still do not have
I don't even think it's a gamble. I think it's you have to do it.
Probably.
Because you need to add in free agency too. You need big bodies.
You have to turn over this roster.
Yeah.
Because of how expensive it has become. And
whether he's ready or not, he better be ready because he's their guy right
I'm
now.
not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that you are now asking 2 guys to play key positions that you really don't know 100% that they've got it.
Foley Fatukasi, a $12.8 million cap number, a 9.2 dead cap number. I think with these defensive guys, what's going to be fascinating to see is Ryan Nielsen comes in. He says either, yep, we can work with this, or we need to bring our guys in. Does he even say that? Does he say he's going to work with whoever he's given? I think that he was very lucky in Atlanta because they had a lot of cap space and they literally went free agent shopping akin to the Jaguars in 2022. I don't think that the Jags, even with potential cap casualties, will have that sort of money. I think they'll have enough money that, again, and I listed a couple of these on last week's program, a couple of these like lesser-known free agent guys, the Contavious Street, a Marcus Davenport on a prove-it deal, a Bud Dupree on a prove-it deal.
Which is
like if you give guys like, $4 million base with various incentives.
It's kind of what Foley was when he came in, if we're thinking about it. And so, look, Foley, I was such a fan. East Rockaway Beach, I was such a fan. With apologies to my buddy Richie from Rockaway, we call him Dicko. I'm like, Foley Fatukasi did not come through. He did not come through. He's been hurt, and he's not been 100%. And so, yeah, that's done, I believe.
Also should be noted that he was a Mike Caldwell decision from their time together with the Jets, or at least had influence in that signing.
And the Jets, as good as they were up front, they chose not to keep him.
Let him test the waters of the open market because obviously they had some other investments they needed to protect.
Yeah.
Just a couple more. I won't go through Trevor and Trayvon. They're both going to be here. Ditto to Evan Ingram. Zay Jones, an $11 million cap hit, $6.5 million dead cap number. Again, he restructured his deal last offseason. I kind of anticipate the same. I know there were some fans that were floating like, would you rather cut Zay to create money for Calvin Ridley? If Zay Jones doesn't suffer the various knee injuries that he did, if you go to the tape where he was healthy, that season opener against the Colts, the game against Buffalo, the training camp that he had, I mean, you could argue if he had been healthy.
I was all about it.
It's a completely different end result of the season for this team.
I think if both Zay and Kirk stayed healthy, beginning of the season for Zay, of course, and then the end of the season for Kirk, who knows what would have been possible. But both of them, Kirk obviously was
with or without the 60 turnovers.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's a good point, too.
They helped him from making mistakes, honestly. Think about it.
Those are the security blankets.
Yeah, because when they didn't have those guys making plays, that's
Parker Washington running the wrong route.
Yeah, and that's when Calvin running the wrong route.
Right.
And so
final one
those guys were pretty sturdy.
I think is kind of interesting, and it will be a great segue for us as we look at Daniel Jeremiah's second mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Williams did not restructure his deal last offseason, was the other player that didn't. $10.5 million cap hit, a $500,000, less than $1 million dead cap number. The reason I bring that one up, I don't think he's going anywhere.
He
played well. I believe that you're in a situation maybe you restructure with him, even though this is the last year of his deal. You need to roll into the draft and into free agency, at least with the semblance of, if we had to line up today, who would our starters be? And as much as he's in a contract year and Tyson Campbell's in a contract year, you have two proven commodities on the outside when healthy.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time,
can't go giving that up.
And he played well.
Right. But does he fit Ryan Nielsen's scheme?
Yeah, but neither one of them are press man. And neither one of them are press man corners. They're zone coverage corners. And according to our defensive coordinator, who ran the most, I mean, listen, like I said, they either when they excel or get exposed. But this team, vast majority of the year last year, played zone. These guys aren't. Can they do it? Of course they can do it. Can they do it consistently well?
They were doing some matchup stuff with Tyson Campbell. They were doing combo covers where he was playing man and the rest were playing zone.
Yeah.
I think he can be a press guy.
Yeah, Caldwell ran press man 18%.
Yeah.
This dude runs it 55% of the time.
I get it. So you better you got to get personnel to match. Philosophy.
That means that this guy ain't hitting bunts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hitting dribbles.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to just keep giving up yards. All right, so we'll keep it going with that.
Yes, because Daniel Jeremiah has once again projected, of course, from the NFL Network, the Jaguars to select a cornerback at number 17 overall.
And if they do turn it over, then it would be looking at a guy that Ryan Nielsen would like to play his type of defense. All right, so let's get into that coming up. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, they are our sponsors on Tuesday. They are there to wow you. And if you check out BeaverToyotaSt.Augustine.com, safe driving for kids. They got their first ever golf classic taking place at Marsh Creek. It is March 11th, and they would love for you to be part of it, making sure that they provide scholarships and opportunities for the young kids right here on the First Coast. Make sure you go to BeaverToyotaSt.Augustine.com and check it out there. We're staying NFL, but I got this great FSU v Florida story coming up before the hour's done.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. When it's time to saddle your horse and hitch your wagon, ride with the Frangie Show.
Let's ride!
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Let's ride!
Yeehaw!
Hey there, it's Mia O'Brien, and that warmer spring weather is almost here. So do you really want to spend your precious weekend time by washing dirty windows and unclogging gutters? Heck no. Call my friends at Window Gang, America's #1 cleaning company, and go do something fun out in the sun. With over 35 years of experience, Window Gang knows clean like no other. These are professionals who truly know what they're doing, bringing their expertise to your home or business. What sets Window Gang apart, you ask? It's not just about the cleaning. It's the courteous and friendly service. Always on time, satisfaction guaranteed. and they are not done until the job is done right. They offer a full range of services, from window and blind cleaning to gutters, pressure washing, roof and house washing, dryer vent cleaning, and all environmentally friendly. Check out their stellar Google reviews online and call their super friendly staff at 262-7300 to schedule your free estimate. That's 262-7300. Window Gang, where service goes beyond your expectations.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
This is Dr. George Bari inviting you to look online at bariorthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics, and online at bariorthopedics.com.
Find out more at bariorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Bolt City Heating and Air is truly a family-owned and operated local company and treats all customers like family. Don't be fooled by the out-of-towner equity firms and national corporations that use local names. There's one name you can trust when it comes to your home's heating and cooling system. Bolt City Heating and Air. Jacksonville grown and entirely loyal to this community. Schedule your winter maintenance by visiting BoltCityAC.com.
The Bulls are back in town and taking over Jacksonville. Get ready for bull-bucking mayhem at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville is bringing the city 2 nights of bull riding action, featuring the most electric 8 seconds in sports. Come see the toughest sport on dirt at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 20th, 1963, future Baseball Hall of Famer Willie Mays becomes the highest paid player in MLB, signing a $100,000 contract with the Giants.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning, get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Dave Binion here with my son Ammon, who is the air duct cleaning manager at Zero Res. So Ammon, you may notice a little rattle in my voice and some puffiness in my eyes. That's because allergy season is coming on. Can Zero Res help?
Yes, your health has a lot to do with the air you breathe. A clean and healthy home begins with clean air. At Zero Res, we can help clean the air in your home by cleaning your air ducts, cleaning the coils in your HVAC units, and fogging the system with a powerful antimicrobial that helps kill and control the growth of microorganisms in your air. We also have options for maintaining your clean air with our excellent inline air purifier and UV lights that will help keep your system clean and healthy. At Zero Res, we are more than just air duct cleaners. We're a clean air specialist.
So, what deals do you have this month?
Right now, get $100 off your air duct cleaning, and while we're at it, we'll give you $50 off your dryer vent cleaning.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
Listen up, poker players. The Run Good Poker Series is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville from March 14th to the 24th. The Run Good Poker Series features 10 poker events, including the $1,200 no-limit hold'em main event with a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool, and event number 1, $400 no-limit hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. Win your way into the tournament through satellite starting March 2nd and running throughout the month at Best Bet Jacksonville. Check out the Run Good Series structures and details at bestbetjacks.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Grilling Up Lunch with Leon and the Sausage Dudes. Sausage with a purpose on 1010XL.
Before we get to Daniel Jeremiah's 2.0 mock draft from the NFL Network, we really struck a nerve with some Jaguar fans out there, Leon. Off the YouTube chat line, which, JJ, remind our friends how they can get involved in the conversation on YouTube.
This is the Yahoo pop-off chat line. Yahoo!
Robert says that Darius played press man with the Rams. Tyson played it against the Raiders in 2022, lined up against Devontae Adams. Another one of our listeners, Jeremy. Tyson also played mainly man coverage in college. He was not alone. We had a couple of our nooners on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, also saying that coming out of Georgia, Tyson Campbell, a man-to-man corner.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'm just talking about the philosophies of the defensive coordinator while he was here.
Yeah, what you
Yeah,
saw.
what I saw, exactly.
Most recent history.
I mean, if you were a corner in high school, college, or professionally, you've played man-to-man coverage at some capacity. I was just referencing the fact that we do more zone than man-to-man.
Yeah, and heck, if you go back 2 years' time, they had signed Shaq Griffin to a big contract, and they tried to come in and play man, and he was much better at zone, and they weren't ready to coach up zone. So there have been all sorts of problems. If you go back, Tyson Campbell in his first year, Shaq on the other side, and then the next year they paid a big number to get Darius, and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, if he's going to be that high-priced free agent, he's got to go to the outside. They didn't. They put Tyson out, and they put him in, and we all know that Shaq ended up getting hurt and was phased out, and Darius had to go to the outside. So they've tried a lot of different things. They just need to be more successful when it comes to shutting people down.
Elaborate on what you were saying, though, Leon. Everybody's played man-to-man.
Yeah.
But there's something different about press man versus man-to-man. So for those listeners who may not be familiar when they hear that terminology with regards to Ryan Nielsen's style.
Well, I mean, Ryan Nielsen's style is more of an attack-style defense. So in his attack-style defense, his corners are mainly man coverage. So he's anticipating getting home before those guys give up big plays. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's a more attack style, brings guys from different variations, left, right, middle, all that, twist game and all that kind of stuff. So he expects his corners to be locked in on wherever receiver they are.
They're closer,
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
They will walk up. They want to disturb the route.
Exactly.
That's what they want to do. And they don't necessarily need to lock on and be man right from the jump, but disturb the route. Take him. Knock him off.
Right. And Darius is not that type of guy.
Yeah.
Tyson Campbell at 6'2", 205 is a guy that can be press man. No doubt about it.
But I just love – I'm thinking about getting – I'm not even going to say this out loud. I was going to say get a tattoo like Leon. I ain't doing that. But nothing cheap and nothing deep, okay? I love it. And that's basically what he wants to do, Ryan Nielsen, your new defensive coordinator, to just force these guys to physically get past you at the line of scrimmage.
So Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network, second mock draft came out this morning. Most of the teams of the 32, he has them selecting a different player outside of, Caleb Williams at the top and a couple others. He has them selecting a different player than they did in his 1.0 mock draft. Not the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is sticking with Quinyon Mitchell, the cornerback out of Toledo, who wowed scouts at the Senior Bowl less than a month ago. A lot of questions of, hey, he played in the MAC, he played at Toledo, as much as, yes, he was courted by Power 5 programs. He opted to stay at Toledo. How would he fare against Power 5 competition at the Senior Bowl? And the answer was, from all accounts of the scouts that were there and the media members that were there, he may have been the most talented defender on the field for either team.
Yeah, that's why most cats go to the Senior Bowl, because you're gonna have a nice little mixture. You're gonna have Power 5. You're gonna have group of five. So you have a nice little mixture of the those type of groups. And if you go out there and shine, the Senior Bowl, you're gonna have all kind of NFL scouts out there. So you garner that kind of attention when you go out there and play the way he plays. Yeah. Listen, Sauce Gardner went to Cincinnati. Yeah. All right, he's top 5. I mean, he's one of the top corners in the NFL right now.
Yeah, and just for what Jeremiah had to say about Mitchell, excellent size, speed, toughness for the position, at his best in off-man coverage, where he plays out of a side turn, eyes the quarterback through the wide receiver, situationally aware, settling at the sticks before triggering on the ball. So he has a lot of nice things to say about him, but we say this all the time, Matt.
Big bodies.
Yeah, you want the big body.
Yes.
But does it translate? Okay, this is always going to be the question. Does it translate from that level to the next level, and can he do that against we're talking the best of the best when it comes to size and speed receiver.
I think you have the ability to hit with a corner later in the draft more than you have the ability to hit with a big body later in the draft. So that's kind of why I think, I mean, they need big bodies on the offensive front, on the defensive front.
Yeah.
That's what they need.
That's what I'd be shopping for.
I also go back to what Trent Baalke said in his press conference a few weeks ago when he stressed that they need to get guys in here that will help shape the identity of the team or something to that ilk. Of we need guys that will help give us the identity that, for lack of a better term, the Jaguars sorely lacked.
Well, I think.
Which said to me, as you need guys that are mean,
Yeah.
tough, alpha.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if Quinion Mitchell's that guy.
I don't know, but to follow what you're saying, and I'll just keep reminding people, 5 of the last 6 games, they were physically beaten. They were physically beaten up. They did not win one-on-one battles, which you won on a regular basis.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's lack of leadership, lack of culture. You don't have that kind of collapse. You don't have that kind of collapse in this day and age if you don't have the right locker room. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that if you got enough leadership within that locker room that you don't allow to lose 5 out of 6 games, and not when you're the number 1 seed. Not when you're 8-3 and number 1 seed.
Oh yeah, and a 99% chance to make the
Oh
postseason.
yeah, absolutely. How does that happen?
99%. All right, real quick, just from Daniel Jeremiah, and you guys can, I'm sure you draftniks have already pulled up Quinion and taken a look at him, but just for what his write-up was, he had 5 interceptions, including a pair of pick sixes in 2022. Wasn't challenged very often in 2023, even on that level, because, look, we're talking about if he is coming out of the MAC and is playing where people are regarding him as a first-round draft pick, he is kind of a man among boys. But at the same time, he just says that he is physically quick, smart, and can definitely take on the bigger and better playmaker.
Well, here's a question I want to ask y'all. I mean, how do you identify who is a good fit for the Jaguars when they have an identity crisis themselves?
Yeah, it's a great question.
I'm just saying. I mean, how do you know who's a fit when y'all don't know who you are?
I'm going to identify the 3 or 4 baddest mofos in that draft, and I'm going to find one of them to get one of them.
But now again, you're trying to get.
I understand. Listen. I want big bodies too.
On either side of line.
Either side, offensive line, defensive tackle.
In the draft. That's what I'm doing.
So I agree with Matt. I agree with you 100%, Leon,
Yeah.
that how can you make this decision when you don't know your identity? And so unfortunately, the one thing that I know for certain is a part of this team's identity, if they want to have success moving forward, if they're on this trajectory, is 16. So I'm going to him. And I'm not saying you're going to make the pick at 17, but you tell me, what does this team still need? And I get that he'll say he's not the GM, he's not making the decisions, but it has to start and end with the quarterback. If he doesn't know what way this team is headed, then maybe he's not the guy either.
Yeah,
and then you've got a real identity crisis on your hands.
And I love what Denny Thompson said yesterday. The quarterback whisperer popped, and he said, Trevor needs to take over that skill position group in this offseason and go wherever you want to go. But get your guys together and figure out who's who and basically say, when we run this, this is what I want. This is what I demand. And basically become that leader that we're talking about, become that big cat or a dog or however you want to describe him. But, yeah, that has to happen for that identity thing to come through.
Yeah, but, someone – this is not a knock on Trevor. Someone's his bitch in 315. He's not going to get a big body. He's not gonna think interior lineman or defensive thing. He's not.
He may.
He's gonna think wide receiver. Who you think?
After how many
Who you think
injuries?
Trevor's gonna ask for?
After he got beaten up this year, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Who you think he's gonna? He's going to want another weapon.
He might see those 3 Olays in
I hope
front
so.
of him in the middle
I
of
hope
3 and
so.
think,
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
So at the very least, he can say, okay, I feel like our flesh points,
where
we're getting bruised more than anywhere else, is the interior part of the offensive line, and he can say it sacredly where other teammates don't hear it, but he needs to let the Baalke and the Petersons of the world know, if I don't have a clean pocket, because Trevor started to look like things were happening too fast for him. If he doesn't have a clean pocket, he's not going to want to stay back there. He's going to be taking off and running. And so that should be on his wish list.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about you. Does Trevor seem to be the type of guy who's going to implicate somebody? Because if he's saying that I need an interior guy on the offensive line, he's implicating that the guys in front of him are horrible. Does he come across that kind of person?
All right,
but you got to put that stuff aside. You got to put that stuff aside.
Right.
You got to look at what real is. The truth of the matter is that he was not protected interiorly. And if I'm him, I'm saying first thing I'm saying is, hey, listen, you got to give me some protection.
There's
and it
hard,
starts up
ugly
front.
truth that has to be addressed.
And I'm hoping that he'd do that.
I don't think he would have
whether
any,
it be a center, right guard, or a left guard.
Right, and I don't think
say
he would have any issue saying, look, last year we banked on Ben Barch coming off of a significant knee injury. A very significant knee injury, and that was going to be the answer at left guard. And then Walker Little, who had never played the position, could also fill in there. And say, look, that was not a foolproof plan because clearly it had flaws in it. It reared its ugly head. And so depth in the offensive front. I don't think that I don't think that's out of the question for Trevor to say that.
No, and I would love for him to.
I don't think he's going to throw Fortner under the bus, but I think
I
he's
would.
I think he's going to say, I need
Truth
guard
hurts.
depth.
I would
Truth
too.
hurts.
There's got to be some hard conversations in that.
Bro,
in that,
your play is your resume.
in that
Film
franchise,
don't
I'll
lie.
tell you that
Film
right
don't
now.
lie. And listen, Trevor's what I'm sure, and this has happened when I was when Brew was here. Quarterbacks, when there's issues with the line or the protections and stuff like that, quarterbacks come in the offensive line meeting room, and we say, quarterback, because here's what happened. All right, Brew was complaining about protection, on the outside, and so in 7-step drops, and he got on me and Bo. I mean, Bo could probably remember this. He got on me and Bo about the outside about what Brunell was doing in 7-step drops. He was bouncing back two steps.
Wow.
And we had to bring it to his attention.
So it's become a nine, basically.
Me and Bo, because in the game, Brew gets heated. Yeah. He gets heated. Hey, you can't get no pressure. So me and Bo had to go watch the film. We watched the film. 7-step drops. He would bounce back 2 steps. That's 9.
Yeah.
Okay, we're to protect 7, not 9. And we brought it to his attention. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, little nuances like that.
See,
you have to bring to their attention.
It's like, I believe, say backups, they can go and drop something in a suggestion box that you don't need to identify yourself. You just put it in the suggestion box. Somebody reads it and says, "Oh, that's not a bad idea." Guys like you can walk up and step up and say something and legitimately defend what you are saying, what you need to win.
Yep. So
that's what leaders do.
That's what leaders do. They got to make the hard decisions. And if Trevor has to tell the organization, "Hey, listen, interiorly, you got to get better. I need protection. My pocket needs to be protected."
Do you like the thought of the Jaguars going corner at 17th? Do you agree with at least 3/4, if not more, or maybe the entire cast of XL Primetime? The Jaguars need to go offensive or defensive line at pick number 17. Draft talk, it's here. The Combine is a week away. You know you want to. 641-1010, get in on the conversation on a Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevy Tuesday.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. More videos, more podcasts, more Jaguars, preps, and college football. More of everything you love about Jacksonville sports at 1010XL.com.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, Preferred Builders. They've got many different divisions when it comes to the construction game, and you want winners. That's what we were just talking about. Well, you definitely can get experience, tried and true leadership, and winners. Make sure you check out if you're thinking about roof replacement, repair, maybe it's necessary. But the bottom line is it's a pricey item, so make sure that you invest wisely in the company that's going to do the job for you. And they can definitely back theirs up with many, many decades of experience here on the First Coast. Check them out, preferredroofingjacks.com. And for remodels, additions, brand new homes, preferredbuildersjacks.com.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
This is Daytona. The heart of racing, the soul of speed. And the only place in Florida to witness the adrenaline-pumping, awe-inspiring spectacle of Supercross. Daytona Supercross, where champions are made, legends are born, and the biggest names battle it out under the lights at the world center of racing. Don't miss it. The gate drops Saturday, March 2nd. Secure your tickets and trackside access today at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Garage getting too full with stuff? Need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Tons of locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access and month-to-month rental agreements. Moving, they can help with supplies. Heading to the players? Look for the storage locker and free bag check at the fan gift shop courtesy of Atlantic Self Storage. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com to find the location and move-in special closest to you.
There are so many ways you can catch me.
Catch Mia O'Brien on XL Primetime weekdays.
On Helmets and Heels Tuesday nights.
And on 1010XL's video and social channels. All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
It's Mo Time with Mo Bryan.
When the sun goes down, you might think a golf course shuts down, but not at the Golf Club of Southampton. Join the gang every Thursday night for trivia with Brooke and Jason, and everybody's favorite night, Friday night on the patio, featuring local musicians, food, and drink. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Great golf. You've come to expect that. But don't forget, when night falls, the fun doesn't stop. Trivia every Thursday night and Southampton's live music patio session Fridays. Call 287-PLAY to make a tee time and the good time.
A no-risk, all-rewards path to real weight loss. If you're not happy with your Awaken 180 results in the first week, get 100% of your money back. No risk, but every reward. With the solution for weight loss, Awaken180weightloss.com.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold, whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, or Goose Island, or Bud Light Seltzer. Dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Me, Dave Carvelis.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
Is like when you get a paper cut and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding, and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Grilling up lunch with Leon and the Sausage Dudes. Sausage with a purpose on 1010XL.
Getting close to the 2 o'clock hour. Coach Campo, our head coach, will be rolling in, talking NFL, free agency, draft. What is this team going to do and maybe regain an identity? Now, back in the day, Florida State, there was an identity to that rivalry, was there not? It was Spurrier v. Bowden. It was Bobby v. Orr. And I don't know where this comes from, Maddie, but it just cracks me up when they rekindle some of the old stuff back in the day, and Spurrier talking to The Athletic. And here's his quote, because they were talking about just some of the rich history between the schools back then. He says, yeah, when we were going up against them, they were an independent school. So I hate to say it, but nobody was looking over their shoulder about the rules, all this, that, and the other. He said, we'd bring some recruits in, and their moms would say, Coach, your parking lot of cars don't look near as good as those up at FSU. I said, yeah, I know. That's just the way it is right now. That's all right. So they probably out-recruited us a little bit back in the 90s. And, of course, Miami was down there recruiting very well back then too. But we got our share. We got a bunch of good guys. What about that? Leon, did you have a parking lot full of nicer cars? Because FSU apparently did.
We did, absolutely. And I was concerned. And that was – I remember when I came back with the Steelers in 92, I had me a nice little ride, whatever, and I'm driving down Coral Gables, and I'm going into the parking lot where the Heck Center is facilities. Mm-hmm. And I see Benz, Beamer, Jaguar, Benz, Beamer. I was like, whoa. Who's driving? Right? Then that's when the Pell Grant scandal tipped off. I saw a bunch of players in Benz, Beamers, and Jags. I said,
oh, that's classic.
That can't be good.
There are still better cars in the FSU parking lot than Florida right now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably. But that's just Spurrier going back in time. Yeah. I love it though.
Yeah.
Because FSU's figured out how to do NIL, and
yeah. Well, again, Matt, this does not have to come back to Billy Napier right now. This is all about Stephen Orr Spurrier and Bobby Bowden. All right? Yeah, you're blinded. You're blinded by Billy right now because I guess they don't have any Lamborghinis rolling up there in Gainesville like Carson Beck rolled up to Athens in or Ole Miss recruit rolled up in Oxford in.
Yeah. I haven't seen a Gators kid from the portal flash in a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I have not.
Or for that matter, like a Toyota.
Yeah.
A Beaver Toyota.
Yeah, which would be nice. Yeah,
right.
Give them the good ride. I
we
totally
accept
get it.
Arlington Toyota as well.
Yeah, there you go. But the idea is that back then it was hush. Now it's not. And, of course, I'm not even comparing one to the other. I'm just those good old day stories, which when you mentioned the Pell Grant, it just kind of does take you back in time. What was at stake, what you were willing to do, and that's how you got the bigs to show up.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. The bags were underneath the table. They're on the table now.
Now they're well over the table.
Well over the table.
All right, let's repeat the vote 5-7 format. You college football fans, you may not know what we're talking about. You diehards, of course, do. But the college football playoff is going to increase to 12 teams. And so this 5-7 format, if you haven't been paying attention, Matt, just lay it out to them because – this is right now been voted on by the College Football Playoff Committee.
And approved.
It's approved. It's only good for 2 years, so it's a little NASCAR-ish. Just because you approve something doesn't mean it has to stay forever. It's not baked in.
It's a segue
to
2026 and the new contract when the SEC and the Big Ten are going to really start to flex. Which, and my guess is it will be all at-large teams beginning in 2026.
5-7, tell them.
5-7 is the top 5 conference champions, which means you're going to get the 4 Power 4 conference champions. It's no longer Power 5 because the Pac-12 is now, of course, disassembled. Mm-hmm. Is the best way to, I guess, the best way to say it.
Harpooned.
Yeah, harpooned. And then the top, it would be the Group of 5 conference champion. And they won't say that because all they're saying is they're trying not to separate the Power 5 and the Group of 5. They're just saying the top 5 conference champions. So you're going to get that, and then you're going to get 7 at large. And my guess is you're going to have a lot. It's going to be a SEC/Big Ten centric playoff field for the first couple of years, and then in 2026 it could get really interesting. Mm-hmm. Like really interesting, really quick, especially if they're all at large.
Right, which you would not be shocked. I don't think too many people would be shocked.
Is it just Big Ten and SEC then, or have they completely broken away at that point?
No, I don't think they've broken away. I don't think that's their goal. I know a lot of people like to say that and hear themselves say that, but I don't think that's their goal. Their goal is to keep everything together, but to have the ability to, and this is what this whole group is about, the SEC and the Big Ten meeting together and trying to find common ground. It's about finding a structure that they can live in,
right?
And it's about enforcement, having their own enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So they've always been the autonomous conferences. They're not really the Power 5 conferences. They're actually called the Autonomous 5, but they were those 5 conferences because they had their ability to create their own rules. They just didn't do their own enforcement. The NCAA still did the enforcement.
Right.
Now I think they're going to go full bore, and it's going to be enforcement in everything. So there will be complete autonomy is what it's going to be.
Staying in the college ranks, let me ask you about this, Matt. Our friend Tony Pauline just posted this, that there will be no pro days in the Big 12 this year, and they would rather have their own mini combine in the Big 12?
I think they're going to do it in Vegas, actually.
Yeah, what's that about? I saw this, and I was like, man, does this
Brett
require
Yormark.
that?
He's doing something different, just trying to switch it up a little bit, having all the Big 12 teams at one event like a mini combine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that that's good. I think it's actually probably bad because, and Leon could speak to this, when you have those pro day combines, you can control the environment much better than you can at an environment where there's 12 teams, 16 teams, however many teams, and you're throwing to different people, and it's you're not setting up, what does Denny call it? The script, right?
Mm-hmm.
The script. And it's different. So I don't like it. I understand why they're doing it because he's trying to get some attention to the Big 12, but I think at the end of the day, it might end up hurting players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing like having your backyard barbecue. All right, you have your pro day at your house. You're familiar with the facilities.
Yeah,
and this also gives you an opportunity to let some of your boys who probably weren't invited to the combine, that are on your team, to come out there and run for scouts and run routes and do all the other kind of drills. I mean, that's why I did it. Right. I did it because it was only two Canes that were invited to the combine, but then we had about 12 players in our class. So when I had my pro day, all the scouts came out, all the guys got to run, do the drills and all that kind of stuff, bench press and all, vertical jump, and got some exposure. Mm-hmm. And a couple of guys got drafted, off that pro day.
Yeah.
They didn't go to the combine.
Yeah, that's the best part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes on you.
Yep.
Provides eyes on the other guys. And heck, you told the story way back when with Don Solinger. I'm coming in here to look. The guy recruited you.
Yep.
Talks to your head coach in high school. I'm coming here to look at X. Well, you ought to be looking at this guy. That's the beautiful part of it.
Yeah.
And so if that does happen, and I don't know whether it'll break away, 100%, but that gives more players an opportunity to be seen. Mm. Off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, DeAndre Robinson just posted a video of him buying his mom a house, probably more than a Lamborghini lease. So that's good because that's one of the Gator recruits. So
good for him, man.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
I like that.
And so it's coming in all form and fashion in terms of NIL. That's for sure.
Before we send Leon off for the day, I think you'll enjoy some of the responses to our question of number 17 overall, corner versus identity, big guys. As one texter pointed it out, a Tom Coughlin pick, a big body on the offense for the defensive line for the Jaguars at 17. This is, again, off of our YouTube channel. I wouldn't be mad at it, but you can get a guy like Renardo Green, a.k.a. a corner from FSU in the 3rd or 4th, all for Keon Coleman or an interior offensive or defensive line at 17. I'd really like Fuaga or Latham at 17. Grab another offensive lineman in the 2nd, maybe a wide receiver in the middle rounds.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it, as long as he's mean.
Yeah,
I want someone with a chip on their shoulder. Yeah. Absolutely, defensive line, offensive line.
And by the way, you could find a chip on the shoulder with those big men that you're talking about, but don't think for a moment that Puka Nacua or a Sauce, a guy who's receiving the ball or defend. They got a chip on their shoulder.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Those types of guys. That's
and they could be mean, too.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be. As much as we stress that, your identity is built from the core of your team, a.k.a. those front three on the offensive and defensive line, and that many times defines your identity, that personality could still come from elsewhere. It doesn't have to necessarily be that position.
True. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Big. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
All right.
As you head out, Big Searcy is out the door. We'll say hello to our head coach, Coach Campo, coming up in just a little bit. We'll talk some ball with him, especially as we are starting to steam towards the NFL Combine, which will come up next week, and kind of get an idea of what he thinks this team is looking for and the rest of them out there as they start to eye these draft prospects. There were a few guys that were left behind that did not get invited, but that's also a good talking point that we'll have in the 2 o'clock hour. It is XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Hey, this is Russell Crowe, and you're listening to the best sports radio in the world, 1010XL Jacksonville Sports Radio.
1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Tired of dealing with clogged drains? What about those bad smells coming from your pipes? No matter how big or small your commercial or residential project may be, my friends at Duck Duck Rooter can handle it. Contact them today for all your plumbing, septic, and air conditioning needs at 904-862-6769. And while I have your attention, Duck Duck Rooter is also hiring plumbers. They offer excellent weekly pay, health insurance, paid holidays, 401k, and more. Apply now at duckduckrooter.com and they will call you for an interview.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
When you think about a metal roof, think Prime Roofing. Prime Roofing is Jacksonville's local contractor that manufactures, fabricates, and installs metal roofs. Schedule today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hi, I'm Michelle McManaman, 2016 Chair of the Players and CEO of Operation New Uniform, a nonprofit that equips veterans with the skills to succeed in business. It's 21 days until the Players.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach, WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The First Coast Games is an annual corporate challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals, with some friendly competition, of course. Registration is now open through the First Coast YMCA for both recreational and challenge divisions, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Attention veterans, if you have a VA loan, you need to listen to this, especially if your current rate is higher than 6.5%. Now is the time to take advantage of the federal government's VA Streamlined Refinance Program. With my friends at Loan Pronto, you can. Go to loanpronto.com. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto has fixed rate APRs in the 5s. You can drop your rate now. Lower your payment with no income documentation and no appraisal. Do it at loanpronto.com. Their all-digital platform makes it easy. They can even cover your closing costs. If you need cash now, Loan Pronto can get you up to 100% of your home value. You can pay off all your credit cards or other debt and save as much as $1,000 a month. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508 or get a 30-second rate quote at loanpronto.com. Ask about streamlined VA loans, no income doc, and no appraisal. Loan Pronto, 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval. Picking here, when it comes to your eye health, you want to make the winning move. That's where Bowdine Associates comes in. February, it's the month of love. And what better way to show some love by than taking care of your family's vision? Bowdine isn't just about seeing clearly. They're about making sure your eye game is in its prime. And folks, they got not one, not two, but 3 convenient locations across town. I call that home court advantage. So call Bowdine Associates and schedule your winning eye exam. Bowdine Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and I always tell you, hey, what's hot on the street, but what is hot on the water right now?
We've got some big news from Honda. They have a boat coming out, and much like they did with their jet, they went out and partnered with an industry leader in Scout Boats. He's making the hull for them, but everything else in the boat is all Honda.
So you're talking in the next handful of days and weeks, we will see Honda on the water at your showroom.
It'll be on the showroom, and it'll be ready to go.
So log on to cyclesofjacksonville.com. They are in the marine business with Honda. Keep track of it right there on Atlantic near Regency.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning, get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Wingstop. Today is opening day of high school baseball in the Jacksonville area. First Coast catcher Hunter Carnes is arguably the best high school baseball player in the city. Carnes is signed to play college baseball at Florida State. First Coast head coach Stephen Barnes this morning at Spring Sports Media Day on what makes Hunter Carnes a special player.
7 a.m., he's in the weight room. After he gets in the weight room, he's on the tee for 200 swings. He's already at practice before everybody gets there. He's already hitting. Not only I think he's the best player in Jacksonville, I think he's the best player in the state of Florida, and I think he's the best catcher in the country.
First Coast head coach Stephen Barnes. It's 64 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. XL Primetime's coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com.
2 o'clock hour, revved up and ready to go. Dave Campo, big smile. Did you enjoy the weekend without football, or did you find yourself just kind of going through the remote control going, where is football? Admit it, Coach.
Bored.
Yeah?
Completely bored.
Now, you didn't find some of those other great sports, like you were.
Kansas basketball has been too all over the map for Coach
Yeah, now
Campo.
they did win.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to watch
They've been
that.
up and
that
down,
was
though.
good. Yeah.
But you weren't like in on the 200-plus points that the NBA All-Star game provided on one side of the scoreboard.
No, I don't look at the NBA, to be honest with you, which they're fabulous athletes.
Oh, yeah, my gosh, yes.
You know, it's
But it's not
nothing
your-
like – really, the games are nothing like the All-Star game. Let's put it that way. People think sometimes that's all they do is just run down the court and shoot.
Yeah.
But I don't look at the NBA until the playoffs. And when it gets to the playoffs, I watch them.
It gets serious.
Because that's when it's serious business.
All right, so it gets serious next week. We've got our head coach, Dave Campo, in with us. Let's talk NFL Combine to start. If you guys want to jump in on the franchise tag or Combine, any questions you want to throw Coach's way, definitely do it. Text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Or you can hit us on YouTube. Just search 1010XL and check us out with the live stream there. So take us from the preparation, getting ready for the NFL Combine. Kind of what's the to-do sheet?
Well, first of all the assistant coaches now are looking at players, along with, obviously, and I can only go by what we did.
Right.
You know, at this part of the time, and I think I've said this before, but half of the day is on the cut-ups and on the football because they got to get ready for OTAs and everything. It's a brand new defensive staff.
Right.
And I'm sure the offense is doing the same thing. So they're looking at all that stuff. But half of the day is on the draft, half the day is on the free agency, whatever comes first. And obviously it's free agency. But so getting ready for the Combine, they're going to have a pretty good idea of who the players are going into the Combine.
Right.
And then when they go to the Combine, they'll have a sheet that they can go through and kind of grade the guys, and they're really grading them on athletic ability only. All you're doing is watching a guy run the 40, and then they're going through these drills. You look at the guy's hips, his quicks, whatever it is. As an athlete, you're looking at the vertical jump. You're looking at the change of direction on the three-cone and the side-to-side, whatever they call it. I can't even remember. I'm getting old. But, so the preparation is going now as far as the off season for both, the football part of it and the draft and free agency.
Philosophical question from a head coaching perspective this next month or so. You get combine eyes, you see a guy, you note a position of need on your roster. Maybe you address it in free agency, maybe you don't. But I've been told that you need to go into the NFL draft feeling like, hey, if we had to play a game today, maybe it's not at the exact level of the roster we would like for it to play, but we have enough holes plugged that we could go out and play a football game right now. Is that true? Versus do you say, look, we know it's an offensive line heavy draft. We know that means we're going into the draft with a hole at left guard, but we're going to address it. Versus, hey, we can't play our hand, and we need to at least sign free agents to plug those holes for now.
Well, I think they're going to look – I think a lot of it has to do with the answer to your question. Yes, your roster is who it is because you don't know who you're going to get in free agency or who you're going to get.
So you have to, start the draft with, if we had to play a game today, we could.
And this is what we need to do, and that's what they're doing definitely here with the defense. They're looking at the defense and saying, hey, look, we don't know who we're going to get. Here's our people. Here's what we have to do on defense to play today. Now, as far as free agency and the other, it depends on your cap. You have to. One of the reasons everybody's talking about, and you all are talking about a lot about what you do with Josh Allen. Do you franchise him? Do you, try to sign him? Whatever. Are you going to try to sign him before or just let him play on the franchise? Right. It all depends on what the rest of your roster looks like, because part of the reason that you franchise a guy is to give you an opportunity to clear some stuff in order to, to make it easier on you to do what you have to do to fill the roster. So they're going to look at free agency first, okay? Because the combine, in all honesty, you're just looking at athletic ability. They really haven't zeroed in to all the little things that you look for in a guy. They're going to the combine with the idea is here's the best maybe 30 guys at a position, whatever it is. We're going to grade them athletically. We're going to put that together. But in reality, it's what they see on film, what they, about the guy from – most guys are drafted from their workout, and they are from the combine.
So real quick, just because you brought it up, did you hear what I just asked Matt about the Big 12 is going to have a mini combine instead of pro days?
Yeah.
You talk about how many guys you found at a pro day.
Yeah.
When I say that they're doing away with pro days in the Big 12, your response?
Well, I don't think that that's smart. But at the same time, I can go with two guys, Woodson and Larry Brown. Mm-hmm. Okay? Those two guys were a little bit different because Woodson, I'd seen a lot of film on him as a linebacker. And then I saw him in the workout. Beautiful. Larry Brown, I didn't look at the film until after I saw him work out. Now, the things that I worked him out on were basically the same things that you see in the combine. So it's the opposite. In other words, I'd seen Woodson, and then I'd seen film on Woodson, and then I worked them out and worked them on the little things, the other way around with Larry Brown. So I really think that the workouts are really important if you can get to them, the on-campus
right.
workouts.
You weigh that almost higher than the combine.
Much higher than the combine.
Okay.
Because not only are you dealing with his athletic ability there, but you're also talking to all the people at the building. We go downstairs and talk to the trainer or talking to the strength trainer and all those things, which you don't get at the combine.
So when you first got with the Cowboys, the idea was speed. You guys wanted speed. You wanted to move safeties to linebackers to edge guys.
Right.
You wanted to increase the speed.
Right.
Now, along that same vein, can you, as a franchise, philosophically say, we need tough guys? Guys that are doing absolutely just tear your head off. And if that means we take them instead of a guy who might be a little bit more talented, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Well, I think you're looking for both. But at the same time, physicality is something that's missing on this team, I think. And that's something that you can look for. And a lot of it is relentlessness. If a guy's relentless, without a lot of plays off, that's the kind of guy you want, because chances are he's going to be relentless when he goes to the next level. Sometimes when you look at a guy and he's not relentless, but he's really talented, it doesn't equate.
Yeah.
So I think you look for physicality.
Let's say you're at 17 and you've got a guy that's rated higher than a guy below him, 3 or 4 spots below him, but the guy 3 or 4 spots below him it's just one bad hombre.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of guy you need.
Yep.
Do you take that chance and say, you know what, this guy's probably the better prospect, but we need this guy?
Yeah, I think you do. I think that's part of the when you're studying guys, that's part of the equation. Does he fit us? Listen, we took with the Cowboys now, going back there. Russell Maryland went number 1 in the draft, first pick.
Yeah, he was your Trayvon Walker.
Guess what?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have gone number 1 with anybody else in the league.
Right.
Because we knew who we were getting. And we knew that guy was relentless and that he was going to do whatever it took. Guy came in at 400 pounds. By the time he came out, he was 320,
incredible.
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
he was 420 pounds when he came out of
Miami, you mean? Yeah.
At Miami.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
but that's the answer to that question. The answer is yes. If that guy has got those traits that you're looking for in your team, then you take the guy because you that's what you're looking for.
Okay, so how do you identify reckless versus relentless, or how do you put a percentage on risk, meaning this is not the straight A student like Jimmy would encourage you guys. Like, how do you break that up?
Well, first of all, I think that it's more difficult. That I would say that the number 1 pick that you make, you better be pretty sure that that's the right pick.
Right.
I guess is my answer to that. So it's a little more difficult to say we're going to take a guy that's rated the middle of the second round on in the first pick with the number 1 draft pick. Yeah. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In other words, when you get into second and third round now,
more risk.
It's less risk, because now if he doesn't work out.
I mean to say you're willing to take a little more
risk. That's
risk.
right.
Yeah, because you're not going to get second guessed nearly as much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I misunderstood you, but that's correct.
Let's wrap this first segment of the 2 o'clock hour with this. Did you hear our conversation, Coach, with Leon about identity?
Yes.
You just referenced how you can go into the draft and say physicality is something we want to address.
Right.
When it comes to identity, do you feel like the Jaguars can just manifest and say, hey, we want to be a more physical team, we want to be tough-nosed, so now we're going to go get guys that are that? Is that possible to do in one draft class?
Yeah, I think you can go get them. I think it's a combination of free agency and the draft, though. I mean, I think that they've got to look and see, an example for me would be if we were looking for a tackle, let's say. Well, there's probably 6, 7 tackles in the first round that have a chance to be pretty darn good players. I don't know that all of them are, physical. I'm just saying they're first-round draft picks, right? Well, if that's the case, then you're going to be a little bit reluctant to take a free agent tackle. But if you look at the first round and you say, hey, there's only a couple of defensive linemen in there that are first-round picks, and I'm talking about interior defensive linemen, then you got to say, hey,
we're prioritizing this.
We got to prioritize that.
But in terms of the meanness, the identity part of it.
Yeah.
So first off, let's start with this. Leon said if this team is having an identity crisis, like Matt alluded to begin the show, and they're at this, what was the term you used? The acrimony?
Yeah, there's just I don't think they can afford more acrimony right now.
I agree with that. I heard
for
that.
a team that's at that stage and may not have an identity, can you just create it? I don't want to say out of thin air, but through this one draft and this one free agent class.
Yeah, I think you can. I think there's players in this draft, for example. There's going to be players. There's a lot of. I think this first round is a pretty good first round.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about every position that's important: corner, offensive line, edge.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty good draft, I think. So I think you can create it. You just have to make sure you make the right choice.
And you got to be smart. Expiring contracts. You got to be prepared for that. You got to look at the guys that you said. Is there more in free agency? Are we going to get a bargain if we get that last second guy in that area? So let's keep that going. And then also let's get your take on Josh Allen. Just play the percentages on that. Do you think he will get tagged and how soon? We'll do that all coming up with our head coach, Dave Campo, right here on XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
What's the deal with the show?
The 1010XL Podcast Network is now available just about everywhere you find podcasts.
I mean, I think the show's going to be a huge hit.
Search for your favorite 1010XL podcast in your platform of choice.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Don here from Taco Lou. Now that football season has come and gone, and it's getting a little warmer outside, it must be time for more golf. At least for us anyway. If you love golf and you love tacos, we've got your spot out at 12. Tacos on 12, of course. It's time for the Players, and we couldn't be more excited. We'll be slinging tacos behind 12 Green all week long. You golf fans make your way, our way, for a great bite, and maybe even a margarita or two. We'll be live at the Players.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Thanks to the coaches and the schools who believe in our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is head coach Ferland Dormery of Trinity Christian Academy High School. Our athletic program selected Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to work with our state championship football team and will continue to use them. We recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
Mr. Rooter, Mr. Rooter.
Bridging the gap between the First Coast and the Swamp.
Gators.
I'm Taylor Dahl. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL as I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
With modern smart home technology, you can control almost everything from the palm of your hand or your voice. Call the experts at Mr. Sparky.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances, that's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World,
simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality H2O in your home, call your local water boy, Keith, at Kanaya Water Jacksonville. That's Kenai Water Jacksonville.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
employer.
Certainly facing challenging economic times, I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy, higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Craft beers, food trucks, live music, and more beer at the Riverside Craft Beer Festival this Sunday afternoon at Riverside Arts Market. Get your tickets at riversidecraftbeerfestival.com. Proceeds benefit Community Peds Care and the Rotary Foundation.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
We've spent a good portion of today's program asking the question, could the Jaguars go corner at number 17th overall in the 2024 NFL Draft? Longtime defensive backs coach Dave Campo with us the rest of the way, and so I pivot to you, Coach Campo, and say, corner at 17, yay or nay?
Well, there's going to be a corner there that's, it looks like. I haven't seen them all yet, but I from what I understand, there's going to be 5 or 6 corners in that first round. I think that there will be a defensive lineman, a center, and a corner at that pick. So, again, I'm a little leery of that, to be honest with you, because we're talking about it. They need to firm up the offensive line, however they do that. Mm-hmm. Now, that, again, depends on what they do in free agency. If they get a guy that they feel firms that interior up, that changes the dynamic. They need a guy inside on defense. I'm for the big guy first, but there will be a corner there that probably helps us going forward.
Can the psyche, the attitude of one guy, just one dude, change the way a unit performs?
Yeah, Donald.
But you know what I mean? Like can other guys see that and all right, he's stepping it up, man.
Chris Jones, Donald, get me those guys,
So, but I mean, guys can. I guess the best way to ask this is, can guys become dogs, or do you have to have that dog in you?
I think you got to have a little bit of a dog in you.
Okay.
But some guys do progress probably in that area based on how much playing time they're getting, experience and all that. But guys are like who they are, right? I would say.
Some are. I mean, like
personality of a team, they can take that on.
Here's Roy Robinson Harris 2 years ago at the end of the last 7 games played unbelievable. Played out of his mind.
Yeah.
This year, not so much.
Yeah, not so much, and it could have been lack of game planning or whatever, because that's what cost those guys very likely their jobs. But it's true that if you are okay as advertised, if you come in with that personality, that makeup, all that kind of stuff, then a coach will be able to identify you. But sometimes a team can bring it out of you too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole mentality of the unit, the coaching staff, all that, it's going to bring out aggressive, or if that's your mentality.
Like the Chiefs have made players.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Paco Pacheco came in with that attitude before he got to Kansas City. There's no question about that.
Right.
But they made him even better because of the system and everything. All right, so this is something that I'll probably ask you between this and Campo and Joe podcast. I don't know how many times. Coach, I know I drive him crazy with this, but when you go past 15 and the Jaguars are picking 17th, let's just go 15 to 45. It's not impossible to say that there's a lot of interchangeable pieces there. That's why you got to make sure you get
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. I think, and we've said this before, that a lot of clubs won't have more than, I'm going to say 20, because I think 20 to 32 is more into that realm where you go from 20 to 45.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the same players, but there's a lot of teams that won't have more than 20 first-round grades. Okay, and whatever that is, okay? A guy might have a first-round grade, and there may be a guy at number 23 that's like a percentage point less than that, so they've got a second-round grade on them. You know what I mean? So it really, to me, once you pass those top, I'm going to say 20.
Okay, all right.
You're really into where it's eye of the beholder more than it is just here's what we see on film. I know this guy's going to come in and play for us.
So staying at 17, then you can't just say, hey, I'll take one of these positions. I better make sure I'm right with the most important.
Unless you have three guys that you feel good about.
Okay.
Yeah, you feel is the same guy, in a different position or whatever.
It's an interesting time. It's an interesting time. Are you at a point, Coach Campo, where you can give us some names of some players that perhaps you've identified as like this is a guy who culturally, from what I can see, and physically could start day one? Do you have any day one, day two gems you want to give the listeners out there?
Well, I'm biased a little bit because I think, to be honest with you, I like corners. They're one of my favorite people.
Yes,
of all time.
That's what we started the segment
We got to
with.
have some. We got to have some corners out there. But this team needs to firm up the interior offensive line and the interior defensive line. Now, I'm not a scout. I'm not there looking at all the guys that are out there. But the two guys that I've seen play, not studied necessarily, but seen them play in games, I'm kind of zeroed in on Murphy kid, Byron Murphy from Texas, because not only is he athletic, and he's probably one of the best pass rushers interiorly that I've seen in a while coming out. He's relentless. I mean, he's one of those guys that we're talking about, in my opinion.
That you say someone else may have more talent, but this guy just keeps going and going.
Well, he has the talent with the relentlessness.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. His only weakness is he's 305. So do you say, in one time you watch him in one-on-ones, nobody's going to knock him off the ball. You get to double teams and some of that kind of stuff. Is he big enough?
Which is what an interior D lineman has to deal with.
That's the thing you have to deal with. That's the weakness. But in reality, I can see a guy like that going from 305 to 325, and stronger and physical. 305 is pretty big, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be okay. But his relentlessness goes along with that talent. So that is what kind of sticks out to me. And I think he can play guard or center. That's the other thing that I think is in
JPJ.
Situation.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
I'm on the other guy.
That's right.
He's a defensive lineman. Yeah. The other guy I'm looking at is Jackson
Powers Johnson.
Yeah. He is a guard center combination, but he's another one of those guys when it comes right down to it. He has athletic agility and all those things, along with kind of a relentless attitude to where you see him go to the next level. You see him cutting people off. You see him driving guys into the ground.
Yeah.
He has that mentality. So those two guys are just guys that I've kind of zeroed in on, a little bit.
So my question for you, as I've even got a mock draft going right now, and I just took Byron Murphy, traded back, took Byron Murphy. But then the question becomes, and I know that there are some fans, some Jaguar fans, some Nooners driving around right now asking the same question. Can you afford to take that defensive lineman in the first round, knowing you have the holes potentially on the offensive line, knowing you have the hole at corner? Can you, as the head coach, can you go into a draft thinking that way? Or does it have to be its best player available, we'll figure out the rest as we go?
I'm a best player available.
Okay.
But to go along with some of the things that we feel are holes, okay? Some of it has to come into it. I'm with you guys. I'm with let's get more physical and more intense and protect the quarterback. That's number one. Or affect the quarterback. I listen to Matt say that all the time. You have to protect and affect. Yep. And I agree with that 100%. Now, if you don't have one there, in my opinion, that you feel like can do that and be the best player available, then you go with a corner, in my opinion, because I think in this passing league, you need people that can cover.
Right.
You can get really good corners later in the draft, right? It doesn't have to be a first-round pick.
I think Tyson Campbell can be pretty good, and you got him where, in the middle of the second?
Early second.
Early second, first pick of the second.
Yeah. I think some of the corners of those, I think there are probably 6 or 7 corners that everybody's talking about, right? Well, some of them are from 20 on, okay? I think you can go from 20 on to 45, so you could probably get somebody
has a
in
similar
that
grade.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Sneed's a fourth-round pick.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best corners in the league.
About to get tagged.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can find corners and receivers are guys you can find down
because
in the
there's a lot more of them now.
Yeah.
It used to be more of a premium because there weren't all these 7-on-7 leagues and all these kids growing up catching the ball and covering and all these different things. And now it's a little bit, you can't find the big guys that are physical and can run.
I always say there's only so many walking the planet.
You can't find. That's why I said earlier that there might be one of these tackles that is a guard that you can manipulate that way. He may be the best player out of all of them. Physical, tough, aggressive, athletic, all those kind of things. But I haven't looked at those guys as much because I think our tackles are okay. Even if Cam goes, I think we're okay.
You're rolling with Walker Little, Anton Harrison.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's also stay on. Yeah, I would as well. Let's stay on your area of expertise, the corner position, because we had Leon kind of distinguish this, but I want you, the former DB coach, the former NFL defense coordinator, former head coach, to kind of distinguish for us. When Ryan Nielsen is bringing a press man corner, does that mean you have to go out and find a completely different group of cornerbacks because these guys may have played man-to-man, but they haven't played press man? So let's do that coming up on XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. It's a feeling.
Do you feel it?
A buzz.
I feel it. I feel it as strongly as I've ever felt anything in my life.
A vibe.
I can feel it. I can feel it like it's right.
1010XL. Sports talk for the First Coast.
Ackerman Cancer Center now offers total body MRI, the latest industry-leading technology. Just one non-invasive scan provides a complete picture of your health to detect and monitor cancer with precision at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet love our community. That's right, we spread the love by giving back, and every year we give hundreds of thousands of dollars to our local community. Plus, we give all our customers lots of love, too. Every new vehicle purchase comes with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, and every certified pre-owned vehicle comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile loving warranty. Plus, we give the most loving for your trade. Help us to continue to spread the love and head to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you and give back.
This is Ellen Darley of Darley's Plumbing. As a family business, our reputation rests on decades of satisfied customers and their referrals. So for any size plumbing job, call Darley's Plumbing for a free estimate today. darleysplumbing.com.
Did you know Prime Roofing manufactures, fabricates, and installs their metal roofs? If you're thinking about a metal roof, think Prime Roofing. Schedule an estimate today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 20th, 1963, future Baseball Hall of Famer Willie Mays becomes the highest paid player in MLB, signing a $100,000 contract with the Giants.
Calling all poker enthusiasts, get ready for the thrill of the Run Good Poker Series, landing at Best Bet Jacksonville from March 14th to the 24th. Brace yourself for 10 action-packed poker events, including the $1,200 no-limit hold'em main event, with an incredible $300,000 guaranteed prize pool. Plus, don't miss out on event number 1, the $400 no-limit hold'em tournament, featuring a $100,000 guarantee. Win your entry through exciting satellites starting March 2nd. Visit bestbetjacks.com for tournament structures and all the details. Don't miss your chance to play your hand in the Run Good Poker Series. See you at Best Bet Jacksonville.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. When researching any product or service, we want to know what other customers had to say about it. Were they happy? Did they receive the results promised? What if that company had a customer satisfaction score of 98%? I don't know about you, but for me, I'm in. Let's say you're searching weight loss programs. I'm sure you'd be satisfied with a company that had a 75 or 80% success ratio because, well, it's weight loss. Anything higher than 80% would be a shocker. Well, Awaken 180 clients give them a score of 98%, and we're not talking about 10 or 20 people. Awaken 180 has helped me and over 21,000 other clients achieve what no other diet, workout plan, or injection has been able to do before. 9 years, 21,000 clients, and over 700,000 pounds lost with the solution for weight loss. Do what Matt Hayes and I did. Succeed with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or reserve your consultation at awaken180weightloss.com.
Get ready for a musical feast at Players Grill Mandarin. Experience Mandala. From Latin beats to top 40 hits, they'll have you dancing all night long. Catch Mandala live at Players Grill Mandarin Friday, March 1st at 8 p.m. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Experience the high-flying action and side-by-side intensity of Supercross. For a chance to win tickets with VIP passes, answer this. What manufacturer has the most wins for this race? Text the correct answer to 641-1010 now.
Hold on to your hats, Jacksonville. The ultimate bull riding showdown is just around the corner. It's the U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville, and it's gonna be wild. Bullbucking mayhem is hitting ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena February 23rd and 24th. Get ready for 2 nights of non-stop adrenaline. U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville is unleashing the most electrifying 8 seconds in sports. The bulls are ready to buck. The riders ready to rumble. Are you? Tickets selling fast. Head to PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com and get your tickets today.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com. Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools, because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277, or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, protected by Preferred Roofing on 1010XL.
We got our draft nicks out in XL Primetime land, all dreaming of what they would like to have for their Jacksonville Jaguars, and there are plenty of them that are floating in on the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures as well on social media, and we love it, that's for sure. I mean, because you guys definitely do your work. Sometimes it's a little dreamscape because you can think a guy's going to fall into the second round, he's going to be there for you. But usually if you like him and he's rated way up there, like let's just use Jackson Powers Johnson as an example, he ain't going to be there.
Yeah, if you don't like him, somebody else likes him.
Yeah, and we have seen.
Oh, if you like him, yeah.
We have seen scenarios where guys do fall, and you don't quite know why. The medicals, which will come out of the NFL Combine, not a whole lot will be said. But you know as well as I do, Matt, whenever it happens, you find out later that those medicals were, a big tell for these GMs and whomever was going to make a decision, and that's why a guy drops down the board.
Well, plus you also have the, quarterbacks are the big, the
needle mover.
Yeah, that's a good one. The needle mover, because you don't know how many of those guys are going to go before you. And the more that go before you, if you don't need a quarterback, the better off it is for you.
It is the truth. And there are plenty of teams that are in quarterback purgatory right now.
Absolutely.
And they're doing anything they can to get out of it.
No question.
Because if you have the quarterback, then it all else falls into place.
Yeah.
Before we do the cornerback discussion, Coach Campo, I do think I want to stick a pin and let's get to that in a second. But you brought up an interesting point that the boys on Jaguars today were talking with last week, and we kind of got into a little bit when we ran through the Jags cap numbers heading into the 2024 season. Your 2 starting tackles, left and right, day 1, 2024, are?
I think it's going to be Walker Little and Harrison.
Are you going from left to right or right to left?
Oh, no, I'm going Harrison.
Harrison on the right.
You know what?
You're
I don't
keeping
know.
Harrison on the
you
right.
know what? I don't know the answer to that question, to
Mhm.
be honest with you, because I think Walker Little did a pretty good job as a left tackle.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure. I know that the more physical of the two would be better off at right tackle.
Anton.
Which is probably Anton.
Yeah.
So, I think it just depends. I'm not sure how they would do it, but I think that's going to be – I think they have to create the cap space with Cam, to be honest with you. And that,
What do you make of this notion? Because I know I have an answer to it, but I've seen it now 3 times on the text line today. And somebody said it to me over the weekend that, this is a prevailing sentiment in Jacksonville, and it kind of just rattles my brain. Well, Walker Little got pushed back into Cam, and he got pushed back into Trevor, so we can't give him a shot. This pushing back into, he was pushed back into Trevor. Mind you, he had a bum hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
He was pushed back into, he hurt Cam. What do you make of that being the big knock on him? You invested a 2nd-round pick in the guy. The least you can do, in my opinion, because he's played well for you when he's been healthy,
Correct.
the least you can do is, A, see it through the final year of the rookie contract, and if he performs well, great. Now maybe you have your long-term answer like you hoped you would.
Right.
And secondly, that's where I look at the left guard position, and if you're so worried about Walker getting pushed in to Trevor Lawrence, how about you fortify the left guard position, which then will elevate the play of Walker Little in theory?
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I think really, when you look at the guy, he was hurt a little bit. Until he got hurt, he was playing pretty good. I think he might have had a little bit of a lapse once he got hurt. But to me, he got another year to get stronger, more physical, strong. So to me,
the framework is there.
Yeah,
you can clearly see it with him.
Correct.
Whereas
He's
Fortner,
that's correct.
Right.
He's got the feet. He's got the ability. He's smart.
Yeah.
So he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. He's got a chance to even get more strength with a good training program, which I think they have over there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Fortner has that same ability. I think he's maxed out, maybe. But we'll see. But I don't think the tackle position is the issue. I really think it's the interior of the line.
Right, and if you let
and
Cam,
however they fit that is going to be a key to me.
If you let Cam go, that some of that money can go free agency on the interior.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because if that pocket doesn't collapse, then Trevor isn't nearly as uncomfortable.
Absolutely. And plus, I think when you're in that situation, it gives him more options because when you're getting pushed into, if the outside guys are doing what they're supposed to do, the quarterback really doesn't have much of an option.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to keep backing up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you control the interior, even if things are covered, he has a chance to run.
And he can step up,
He can step up. He can go lateral underneath the outside rushers. He can do a lot of stuff. But if he gets pushed back into, that's the worst part of the whole thing.
The trios,
it quickens your time situation.
The other thing is that Walker Little, let's just not forget this. I'm rooting for him. I think he's got a lot of athletic ability and can be the guy. But this is entering year 4, and you still don't know for sure, all right? He went from the end of year 2 and everyone going, wow, look at what he did. We all remember that, to going into year 4, and you still don't know.
Well, I think I know.
Okay.
I mean, I think, that's me. I think the kid is good enough to win at the position he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do too. I think they know with him.
Yeah,
I hope so.
You're talking about he was injured. He had a hamstring problem for much of the year.
I got it.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
He's moved from one position to the next, inside to outside. I think they know what they got with him.
Yeah, he was Mr. Versatile too. When they asked him to do stuff, he did it.
Right.
So real quick, before we run out of time, Coach Campo, let's address that corner question. We'll bring this full circle. In case you're just joining us, Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network, mocked Quinion Mitchell for a second straight mock draft to the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 17. Part of the conversation is, well, he can play press man. Do the Jaguars have press man corners? And we ran through Darius Williams. Did he play it in L.A. at times? Yes. Did Tyson Campbell play a lot of man-to-man at Georgia? Was he a press man? I don't have the tape in front of me, so I can't tell you that. What do you make of this conversation regarding, well, we need to get more press man guys into the building for Ryan Nielsen?
Yeah, I'm okay with the guys we got, because in all honesty, if you can run, that's the key. Larry Brown, Deion Sanders, those guys weren't great technique players, but they could run. Mm-hmm. And if you can get up there and you have the common sense of knowing, we used to say, stay high for 5. That's what we used to tell the guys. Mm-hmm. If you're on top and in a position to where you're over the top of the guy 5 yards down the field, then now by the time they get to the route, that if it's a short route, you got no problem if they go vertical, because if you can run, you got them. It's over. But if they get to that intermediate area, if you're high for 5, the majority of the time you're going to be under control when the guy tries to run underneath you or running out or whatever. But if you're even with the guy, you have to run too fast to stay with them vertical, and now all the other routes, you're running by them. Mm-hmm. You'll buy them. They know where they're going. You don't. You're trying to cover them deep. So to me, you can teach it. I guess that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you can run, you can technique a guy to where he can play press man.
Perfect. Love it, Coach. Good stuff as always. Campo and Joe, not today, but back at it next Tuesday. We're looking forward to that. We will welcome in the Frangie Show. I did laugh, though, when you said high for 5. I thought you were talking about JJ. I had no idea what you were talking about. It was cornerbacks. It is XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Now he's going to run. It's a draw. He's across the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
I'm Mark Brunell on 1010XL.
Home of the Jaguars.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
This is Hayes Carlion for QC Kinetics. Are you sick and tired of achy joints? Look, you need to call QC Kinetics today. They've got 2 great locations, Mandarin and Ponte Vedra Beach. Give them a call for a free consultation at 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. Look, the state of healthcare is always changing. It's evolving, and old ideas like steroids and surgery, they're no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, arthritis, injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Give them a call today, QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rollie.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Local 234 Plumbers, Pipe Fitters, and HVAC Technicians is now taking applications for their state-certified apprenticeship program. As an apprentice, you'll receive excellent benefits, higher pay, job placement, and even earn college credit. The 5-year programs include plumbing, pipe fitting, welding, and HVAC. A career as a journeyman means stability and security. For more information, visit ua234.com/apprenticeship. Local 234. Make the right connection.
We're in Florida, and pest problems are persistent. Want them gone? Mission accomplished with Mission Pest Solutions. Veteran and locally owned and operated, Mission Pest will blow your mind with their communication and response time for all your pest, termite, and mosquito needs. Text or call 904-944-PEST. You'll speak directly with the owners. Mention 1010XL when you call 944-PEST. You'll get 25% off your initial pest or termite protection service. Mission accomplished with Mission Pest Solutions.
This is Nylorn Stemple, former Florida State National Champion and the proud owner of NLS Cleaning. Just like on the gridiron, we tackle dirt and grime with unmatched precision. Whether it's your commercial property or your residential space, we are ready to take care of your exterior cleaning needs. NLScleaning.net.
The First Coast Games is an annual corporate challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals, with some friendly competition, of course. Registration is now open through the First Coast YMCA for both recreational and challenge divisions, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect pair for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the 2-minute drill. Brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
Big stretch in the hoop world as we enter late Feb, and on the campus of UNF is the Franchi Show, the Embedded and Shredded. Hayes Carline joining us now. What is up, Hayes?
We are at one of our favorite places, the University of North Florida. Harmon Stadium, the Mighty Gators rolling into town, 6 o'clock start. We're looking forward to it. New UNF coach Joe Mercadante going to join us at 3:20, so it should be a fun Franchi Show. Beautiful day out at the park.
And we've got two of our big baseball squads from the state in town this week, which is kind of cool, you know, when you think about it.
Oh, the Noles are at JU, so it's a huge day for college baseball here locally, and hopefully it'll be 2 great games.
Have you negotiated either on Trent Baalke's side, which I know you like to do from time to time, or Josh Allen's side since we have last talked to you?
Well, I mean, again, to me it all goes back to such a missed opportunity. I mean, there are certainly times where you want to be tough at the negotiating table, probably more often than not, really, in the NFL. But I do think there are occasions where you don't need to have a tough negotiation. What you need to have is a friendly conversation, which ultimately leads to a day of celebration for the franchise and the fan base. And that day of celebration would be Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson and Shad Khan at a podium with Josh Allen to announce the biggest deal in franchise history. And Josh Allen has earned it. So I think it's a really major mistake on the part of the Jaguars brass, just in terms of what the moment could be. Because now what I think it's going to be is he's tagged, certainly the possibility is that he's tagged. He's unhappy. You have to go through that whole process. Ultimately I think he's going to be here for the long term. But I just don't know what the holdup is. Obviously he's earned a contract that would be right up there with the best that do it. And again, these things aren't guaranteed.
No.
You can get out of it in 2 years. If Josh Allen, for whatever reason, regresses, you're out of the contract in 2 years. So, we've seen it a million times here.
Mm-hmm.
So it bothers me because I really think it would be a galvanizing moment, particularly after the embarrassing collapse, to have a day of celebration for Josh Allen. And, I don't think they're going to take advantage of that. And again, it should not be a hard negotiation. The guy rewrote your record book. You should pay him. That's how this works. And so there will be times for hard negotiations. This is not one of those times.
It's the truth, bro. I think we got to the red of the embedded and shredded Hayes car line there. So you will have plenty more of that coming up this afternoon, correct?
Absolutely. Tons of Jags, Gators, Knowles, everything. Tons of baseball coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, buddy. We appreciate it. Hayes, Franch, Lauren, they will be there. RJ holding it down here. The RA. Would you say that, Matt? Maybe a little bit of the RA from Hayes? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, we are done. Coach Campo, thanks for hanging out with us on a Tuesday. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, thanks to them. Don't forget online, beaverchevrolet.com, beavertoyota.staugustine.com. Find them on the lot, and you'll find great deals and great people, that's for sure. You got the French show out at UNF, Helmet and Heels, coming up at 6 o'clock, and then on into the evening. I think it is Hacker moving up.
Yes,
this
Rick
week?
Ballou is
Yeah,
in
'cause
Las
Rick-
Vegas.
Yeah,
Got
for-
to watch U2 at the Sphere, and so it'll be Hacker right after Helmets and Heels.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy for him. He's loving it. All right, we are out. It is XL Primetime.